Welcome to the Sunday show after dark, the Sunday show that occurs usually after dark. I'm your host, Forrest Valkai, and I'm joined today by the erudite and eccentric Jovan Bradley. How are you doing today, my friend?
Hey, I don't know what erudite means. Is it a Pokemon?
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Today, we've got a great show for everybody. We've got lines open already, 720-619-2288, or use the web link in the description. And we're opening those lines to everybody who disagrees with us, to people who are theists, people who believe in gods, people who believe in angels, people who believe in demons, people who believe in devils, people who believe in divine judgment and justice, people who believe in the Bible, people who believe that the Bible is the good book, people who believe that you need a God for morality or for creation, people who don't think that this world could have just popped out of nothing and that there must be a watchmaker behind every watch, people who don't believe in evolution, who don't believe in the age of the earth, who don't believe in the shape of the earth, who don't believe that trans men are men and trans women are women, who don't believe that homosexuals are normal and natural. We are opening the doors for all sorts of theists, creationists, science deniers, skeptics of our skepticism. We are open for you to call us. It sounds like you were going to say some things.
What this thing I heard you say about the shape of the earth, like we're all in agreement it's flat, right? Like
I will drive to Florida and I will body slam you. Again, if you talk about that shit or birds again, lose it.
Don't be mad that they're not the same thing. You all in the scientific community are being bought by Big Bird, and Big Bird is trying to convince us that birds are dinosaurs. It's not true.
The problem, Jovan, is that your silly business is reality for so many people. And I'm about to draw a cladogram in this motherfucker and explain what archosaurs are. And no one's going to have a good time. But instead,
I will do this until Forrest has to make a video on his main channel that's like tackling Jovan Bradley's claim that birds are not dinosaurs.
Like, I actually have had to give that argument because, like, we explained, I did a video. I'm trying to remember which one it was. The glob, dude. I'm gonna have to remember what fucking video I released. I hate thinking about my own videos. I did a video a while ago where somebody was talking about how, like, humans live with dinosaurs, and they meant it to be like humans and dinosaurs coexisted, and therefore the Bible's true. And I'm like, no, humans and dinosaurs coexisted because goddamn birds are dinosaurs, not anything else. I think it was yes. Here it is. Dinosaurs did live with humans, just not that way. This is where I responded to Kyle Butt for the second time. I'm putting that in the chat. Everyone can go watch that and see a great little cladogram showing the relationship of birds and dinosaurs and everything else, and can learn more than Jovan Bradley. It'll be a great day.
Yeah, you can officially be smarter than me. But I'm sorry, they're not the same.
You can officially be smarter than me is great. It's a beautiful day for people to call in and ask questions about stuff. So do that. We're right here for you to call in and talk. We've already got some people calling in. But again, if you want to talk about evolution, if you want to talk about the age or shape of the earth, if you want to talk about vaccines, if you want to talk about LGBT people, if you want to talk about a god or gods, those are the big ones that we usually go with. The number there on the bottom of the screen is for you. That number is 720-619-2288. So call in and let's talk about things.
You know what,
Bradley?
My favorite.
Right, go ahead.
What I've been enjoying lately is talking about how absolutely terrifying hell would be heaven would be if heaven was real. That's become my favorite. My favorite thing right now.
Yeah. I love that because like when we talk about like it depends on which flavor of Christianity and which version of heaven and whether or not you think biblical is important and blah 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 blah. But like what I usually get in terms of heaven from most of the Christians I talk to is that it is this state of perpetual worship where your mind is erased when you go there because otherwise you would be worried about the people back on earth and them burning and suffering and your children and all these things. And so you are just wiped clean so you can live as this automaton of perfect adulation to the fucking monster you believe in. And yeah, sign me up for hell, y'all. That sounds a lot less. The mind-numbing torture sounds less mind-numbing than having my mind numbed.
It's the worst thing I've ever heard of.
Yeah, it's very bizarre. Someone in the chat, can we call and ask why Jovan hates Spectrum Internet?
I could, if I did a speed test right now, it would freeze my camera, but I promise you I'm only getting like 7 right now. For anybody who's up to date. Don't worry, when I'm done here with Forrest, we will get the second post, which will be day 2 of asking Spectrum to fix my shitty internet.
What's funny is we have so here in Oklahoma we have Cox Communications. That's the main ISP for the Tulsa area, right? Not spelled the cool way. And I've had them forever, and the price just goes up and up and up for them continuing saying, we're giving you faster and faster internet, and the internet's the goddamn same. And then we pay more and more and more money. And there's another company called Kinetic that's in town it has been laying down lines all over this part of Tulsa for a little while. And the day that I uploaded my last video, my last Reacteria, but it was the last day of the month. It was September 30th, and I've got to put this thing out right now. And the people out there, laying lines, cut my goddamn internet line, and so now I'm having to have this like ISP fight between these companies trying to decide who gets rights over my backyard. It's a whole thing. God, it blows. And both of them are awful. Like there's no good reviews for any of them.
There's no such. I just want fiber. That's it. Just let me have fiber and enjoy my life.
You don't even have fiber?
No.
Dude,
when I said 7, that's my upload speed. My upload speed is around this time is typically 7 Mbps.
I'm going to fast.com right now, and I'm going to just do a speed test while I'm streaming. So I am currently in the process of live streaming, and I've got 960 MIPS.
Wait, where's that? Fast.com?
Yeah, fast.com is a chill little speed test. So I've got 960 down. I'm looking it up. Up is 110.
How do you tell you're up? I'm on this. How do I see my up?
Click the details thing. Whenever it runs it's got the big numbers, and then below it'll say show details, run that, and then it'll do another test.
Okay. You ready to hear some wild shit? Let's see.
What do you got?
I have 780 up. I have 13 down. Or I'm sorry, 780 down, 13 up.
That's wild. That's wild.
Yeah, my internet sucks.
If yikes. that's rough, dude. Hey, everybody smash that subscribe button and join the channel Patreon and all that stuff so that eventually we can pay Jovan enough to buy better internet.
Hit the like button, please.
Need. Yes, like that button. Like it all the way up. Like it up more than 13. With that, where is my thing here that I've got on the this? Where's my this?
For 2 seconds.
All right, well, Jovan's going away because he hates us all. But in the meantime, I'm also having issues with the stream now, apparently. We've got already a couple people calling in. We're going to start with our first Theist caller here in just a minute. But in the meantime, I just want to remind everybody that the lines are open for you. So if you are watching this program right now and you would like to be a part of it, you can do that. The number on the bottom of the screen is 720-619-2288, or use the web link in the description, and you You can get on the phone with Forrest and Jovan, talk about gods, talk about science, talk about your feelings, how you're feeling today, as long as it's something contrary to what we're feeling. It's all about debate. That's what's really important. I was gonna just wait for him, but I think he might be dead. So we're gonna start with Katie, pronouns she, her, calling in from obligatory rabbits. They're rabbits that have to exist. What a world. Who wants to talk about Freemasonry? Katie, you are on the line with Forrest and only Forrest. How are you doing today?
What do you mean? I've been here the whole time.
I'm doing good.
Hell yeah. So what do you want to talk about?
So basically, I would argue that Freemasonry does follow that it is a religion.
Okay.
For the reason that it has initiations, first of all. It has hierarchies. And it has books that you follow for teachings, which is basically all three, every religion that we like. It even has temples to go to.
Yeah. So I can tell you it's definitely a cult. I would hesitate to call it its own religion because it structures itself around Christianity specifically with heavy influences from Mormonism. And so they have their own way that they read the Bible and interpret the Bible, and the way that they see the things in the Bible as this kind of prophetic way of life for an individual person to live. And then they have their rites and rituals and secret handshakes and all that cute shit that makes them feel real special and secretive, despite the fact that you can look up all of the Masonic secrets online, and they're literally just how to shake somebody's hand so that they know who you are in the dark. It's that weird shit. But calling them a religion, I don't think I don't think that there's anything really objectionable about it. I just don't think I would personally call it that. I think that would be a stretch for me, but that's just me.
Okay. So I'm wondering why you would go the Mormonism route. Could you give me one tidbit of something that lines up with Mormonism?
Yeah, so they're really big on the Bible specifically. They call the Bible the rule and guide of faith. And that it is the guiding light. It is the one of the great lights of Masonry that lights the way in the darkness and all this shit. And so they're really heavily Christian. The Mormon influence, you can really see from, and again, I've never been a Mormon, and I'm not too familiar with a lot of Mormon religion, but this is what has been told to me by Mormons. That really comes in with how their lodges are set up, the way that they interpret a lot of the Bible, and also they have their whole their stewards that guide things around, and they have the Tyler at the door that decides who's let in, and all the pomp and circumstance and ceremony and shit that they do. From what I understand, that is heavily taken from Mormons. I could be wrong about that, but I don't think that I am. That said, the general vibe of Masonry, when you read their actual materials and when you go through the stuff that they teach you, it's supposed to be very broad and worldly. All of their lectures and their teachings and the stuff you read in the old books that you have to memorize and all this shit, all of that talks about how a faith in some sort of higher power, some belief in something bigger than yourself is all that's really necessary. And that, all these different religions can come together as true brothers to make the world a better place. All of that is in there. But then when you actually get into the lodges, or at least the ones that I'm familiar with, it's Christianity, and it is patriotism, and it is America, and it is you have to stand for the pledge because that says God, and that's what God means, and that kind of shit. And so, like I said, yes, it is definitely a cult. And the individual lodges have their own little subsets of that cult.
Sorry. Yeah, I agree that it's a cult. And so I may have had a couple people that have came to me being would you to join Freemasonry, because So I have a friend who has German ancestry, and like a lot of Freemasons have either like German or Jewish ancestry. Apparently, Germans are just a lot of them are Freemasons, and then Jewish people use Freemasonry to try to gain power again after being screwed over. So
I don't know about that. I do know that Freemasonry is predominantly white, and that is because of how it grew, and especially in this country.
Jews, and it is true that there is lots of Jews in Freemasonry. I looked at the list, and I would guess it's maybe 30 to 40% Jewish. So
maybe, and it would make sense with. It would make sense for Jewish people to want to find some place to find community, but I don't know how. I don't know. What I do know, especially the poster of Freemasonry, the way that it's advertised, is that it's good men becoming better men and making the world a better place. So that's definitely enticing to people. That's why it was enticing to me when I was a kid. But in terms of the actual distribution of it, I can say it's more of a racial distribution than a religious one. Freemasonry had segregated lodges for a long time and largely still does. While they do usually, nowadays, they will allow Black people to join a lodge, but they do have separate lodges called Prince Hall lodges, which are just for Black people. That a lot of times those Prince Hall lodges remain racially segregated because that's the tradition amongst them. As far as you being invited in, you're a woman, so it's unlikely because it is fraternal. They don't allow women in. What they might allow you in is there's a separate entity called the Order of the Eastern Star, where if you are related to a Freemason as a woman, you can join that special little thing. Or they have a different thing called co-masonry or clandestine masonry, which is secret masons that break the rules of masonry and allow women in and allow atheists in and shit like that. Because the way that they put it, when you're taking the oath of a master mason and all this shit, and you're now you're the formal guy who can do whatever, you have to swear that you will not allow a woman, an atheist, an old man in dotage, a young man underage, a libertine, a madman, or a fool into Freemasonry. It's part of their actual oaths that you have to take.
Yes, and so basically, I know this ties into Charlie Kirk's death, which who knows if he was actually initiated and following Freemasonry, or even just having any connections to a person who was following it. Maybe that was the point. Or they forced him to just put out a hat, or he just wanted to put out a hat. That's what I thought, is maybe it could even be to the point where it was that he just got told to put out hats before for somebody else in the government.
What are we talking hats?
That's why
what are we talking about? Hats?
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure he had 41 on his hat, which was the hours to find the shooter for his death, and then that was the hours that
so now we're okay, so now we're getting pretty quickly into we're getting pretty quickly into conspiracy theory here, because the Freemasons are a very large international organization. They are the oldest and largest fraternity that is still standing in the world, as far as I remember. And they are very influential insofar as you are taught that you are to take care of your fellow Freemason, and if one of them is in need of help or whatever like that you can go help them. And a lot of people see it as this connection, this network that builds influence and things like that. What a lot of people misread as secret symbols that make big predictions is just the same shit that any other cult does. They put their symbols on stuff because they're meaningful to them. I used to do that when I was a Freemason. I would put symbols of Freemasonry on shit that I did because I thought it was cool because I was in it. But then
also, Charlie Kirk's hat had a 47 on it because he was selling hats for Trump.
Right. I just what happens a lot of the times is people see a lot of symbols that don't make any sense, and they connect them to things to try to make a pattern that makes sense. I don't think there's any Masonic background to anything that happened to Charlie Kirk. The Freemasons aren't that cool, as far as I know.
Yes, I mean, this call has been good. Yes, so I agree so far with I get that Freemasonry probably came from Mormonism a little bit, because
it greatly predates Mormonism.
Mormonism had a lot of the extra stuff from Joseph Smith, which, like, the tablets, I know that they pulled the tablets for Freemasonry.
It was influenced by Mormonism, but it predates Mormonism by a lot. But it was influenced by Mormonism at one point. George Washington was a Freemason.
Yes, so I agree with that. I definitely will do more looking into that, because that's kind of cool. But then the thing that I disagree with is that it totally does have rituals, which makes, for me, that puts it with a religion, because if I went somewhere every few weeks and then did a ritual with people, I would be
the rituals.
I'm in a religion.
The rituals of Freemasonry. The rituals of Freemasonry are just really initiations. They're educating people on the rules and dogma of the next level of whatever you're in. It's all about secrecy. It's all about the initial exchange between two Masons is I hail, I conceal, meaning I greet you and I hold the truth, and that's a thing that they do a lot. And so that's the rituals. As far as weekly rituals, when you go to lodge every week, it's just it's no more ritualistic than the pomp and circumstance of opening a court of law. You have certain words that are said and gavels are banged and people stand up and sit down and all that stuff. So you could compare it to a Catholic mass or some other religious thing. You could also compare it to the way that we run Congress. So the only real rituals, quote, that you're going to really be talking about is just walking people around a room and reciting Bible verses and having them sit through a boring ass lecture to tell them what certain symbols symbolize and why you should divide your time into eights because it's godly or whatever. That's all it really is. I can't stress enough. Freemasonry is so fucking lame. It is a cult and it is weird and they have some wackadoodle beliefs, but it's also very fucking boring and it's not nearly as spooky as people like to pretend. It's just kind of a boogeyman that people paint as something scarier than it is.
Yeah, so basically, I agree that it's kind of made out to be way more extreme than it is. It's not there's other secret societies I've heard about that are way more intense. I'm
look
pretty
up
sure
the fucking
Scottish Rite one is really more intense with sitting on the cross and even
the Scottish Rite is pretty mundane.
Child eating and
the Scottish Rite is pretty mundane. The York Rite is pretty fucking wild, but that really depends on what you're a part of, because if you join the York Rite, which most of the world, or most of Europe at least, I should say, in Europe, it is largely said that you're not truly a Mason until you join the York Rite. And the York Rite is a derivative of the Knights Templar. Excuse me, I'm real burpy today.
Yes, that was the one that I've heard about. That is absolutely crazy. To join the York Rite, to get kind of where most people would start to be like that. Most people would be if they knew about what they did, they would feel like that's worth hanging or something.
I don't think so. The York Rite, just to be clear, the reason why I never joined the York Rite and the reason why I think the York Rite is so much freakier than the Scottish Rite is because to join the York Rite, you have to sign a contract saying that if religious war ever breaks out, you will take up arms for Christianity. You will be a Knight Templar. And it's not gonna. It's a bunch of dumpy old fucks that want to have their names written on swords and feel like soldiers. It's not real, but the cosplay that they're doing is fucking weird. Meanwhile, the Scottish Rite is very philosophical and chivalrous, and there are a lot of knight things involved in there. You do get knighted in the Scottish Rite, but it's a very symbolic thing about chivalry and that you will put yourself in harm's way to defend innocent people. That's what it's supposed to be teaching you in the Scottish Rite, and the rest of it is totally esoteric and just about like philosophy about the universe. The real issue that I have with the Scottish Rite is that they practically worship this dude by the name of Albert Pike. When you go through the Scottish Rite, that has 32 degrees, and then the 33rd degree that you cannot actually work for. It has to be bestowed upon you, but there's 32 degrees you can work for to get through, and those are all the the philosophy of them is huge and expansive. It's literally over 1,000 years of history of people sitting down and putting in their philosophy about their different beliefs in what these different degrees symbolize and represent and everything like that. But there's this one asshole named Albert Pike who sat down and wrote a thick-ass textbook called Morals and Dogma, where he gave his admittedly very diverse and interesting and educated background and ideas of what all of these things mean. And a lot of the Scottish Rite people take that as the fucking dogma of the thing and don't mention the fact that, number one, there are other ways to view this shit. Number two, a lot of Freemasons don't follow these rules anyway. And number three, Albert Pike was a motherfucking Confederate general. And we're just going to pretend like that's okay. And so, anyway, with that, it's just not as freaky as you think, and I encourage you to look into it more. Like I said, you can look up this shit online. I guarantee you, if you look up Masonic Secrets Revealed, you're going to find a lot of fucking crazy conspiracies and the most boring, mundane shit you find, where they're like, and then they walk you around the room 3 times instead of 2 times, and like, that's the actual shit that Freemasonry is. That's all it is. It's just a bunch of dudes who want to sit around in a lodge and drink and talk shit about their wives and feel like they're more philosophical and educated than they really are. That's all it is.
Yes. Alrighty. So, yeah, I think that we're on the same page about it. Like, it needs more talking about whether or not it's closer enough to how bad ritualistically it is to be considered a religion. And then also which ones are going to be considered closer to religions. Like Christianity is kind of, honestly, like not enough people consider the Bible close enough to like if we actually did what was in the Bible, a lot of people would be really freaked out. Like I just learned recently about what the Roman execution stuff was, even though I was Christian for a long time, about how they would recite all your sins and then hang you, which that's pretty crazy. And then
it's a bad time.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so it was kind of giving that. Yes, I could be Gen Z,
we're gonna move on.
Sorry if this call is giving that. But I understand 100% what you're saying is to really think about, is it even, you can really think about the criteria
if you wanna,
again, and then, is it just,
if you want to learn more about,
or is it actually, following a whole entire dogma?
Yeah, it is a dogma, but I promise you they don't even follow it. And I'm looking up on Amazon right now, Morals and Dogma by Albert Pike, and yeah, you can buy a copy on Amazon. It's a fucking terrible book. It's interesting. It's got a lot of history and a lot of philosophy and a lot of really cool background. It's a very interesting read, but dear Christ, is it dense. And if you want to learn what these people actually think about stuff, you can go read that. And the first three degrees are entered apprentice, fellow craft, and master mason. Those are what are called the Blue Lodge degrees. That's what every Freemasonry has. And then some people go on the Scottish Rite, which goes all the way up to degree number 32. So check that book out, and that's an actual source of information from the horse's mouth rather than whatever conspiracy theory you'll find online. Anyway, I'll talk to you later, Katie. Thanks so much for the call.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
And I'm here too.
Sorry, I wanted to I don't know if you want to. Do you want to talk about Freemasonry for a while? Because it sucks.
I have nothing for a Freemason conversation. I got nothing.
Yeah.
Good on you both.
Yep.
I was sitting here playing Spider Solitaire.
I used to be one when I was 18. My grandpa was a Freemason when I was a kid. And I was taught my whole life about how they are good men becoming better men and making the world a better place. And that sounded pretty fucking skippy to me. Plus, I was looking for guidance and I was looking for philosophy and I was looking for interesting things to think. And so I joined the Freemasons at 18 or 19 or whatever. I think it was 18. I don't know. I joined pretty quickly. And within like 2 years, I had very quickly outgrown it. It was really fucking dumb. And it was very clear that I wasn't learning anything new. And I went through all the degrees and I got certifications in like memorizing all the lectures and learning all the esoteric shit so that I could unlock the deep secrets of everything. At that time, I was very mystical and very spiritual, and I wanted to unlock all these deep esoteric secrets about reality and blah, blah, blah. And I realized very quickly that nobody else did that there. They just wanted to sit around and talk shit about their wives and get a free meal on Tuesdays. That's it. And so I got in trouble a bunch because I would do shit and they'd be like, you have to do this because that's what Jesus said. And I'm like, hey, here's 13 parts of your own book that says I don't have to do that. And it doesn't matter what Jesus says. Did you read this? Because you're the person who told me to read this. And it just sucked.
It just sounds like
even now my Bible is my Mason Bible.
It sounds like just a bunch of guys hanging out at the old Elks Lodge, you know?
It's very much the same. And like, especially the fucking Shriners, dude. Good gravy. I joined the Shriners. To be a Shriner, you have to be a Master Mason. And I was like, hey, this is the charity wing.
That sounds like a sex thing.
You don't know about the Shriners?
Is that like when they put when you put pineapples, upside down pineapples on your door on a cruise?
No, that's swingers. So the Shriners, if you ever, my man just caught the point that I made. But the Shriners
like a
are
small fly flying around in here. So if you see me doing this, I'm trying to get it when it flies in front of my face.
I thought you were just hyped. But yeah, if you ever hear about like Shriners hospitals where you can go and get free treatment for children, that's the Freemasons, who are the sect of this Freemasons called the Shriners. If you ever see the people wearing fezzes with a little scimitar and a star on it, those are Shriners. That was the symbology that was used in like Gravity Falls. Uncle Stan wears that fez with a golden symbol. Mm-hmm. It's supposed to look like a Shriner hat. The Shriners.
What are the things in The Simpsons?
I don't know about that one. I don't watch The Simpsons. You tell me.
Okay.
I know what it is. I've just never really watched it. But there's that, and then there's also they do parades. So if you ever see like the people going out and being clowns for kids, and they do the little spinny cars and everything to raise money for children's hospitals, those are fucking Shriners. And so like I was a part of that for a second, and let me tell you, cringy as fuck. And they did some good stuff. But 99% of it was, hey, there's an open bar. Come on over and let's have some fun. It was a wild time.
I'm not against it. I am going to be honest. There's like one call that interests me.
Yeah.
We've got calls are just sort of like, okay.
We've got a bunch of people on the line. And I just want to let you know, if you're an atheist and you're calling in, it's going to be a while. But like, let's talk to I'm saying line number 10. What do you think?
I was gonna say the exact same.
Perfect. Because there's considering the call history as well. Woof. Let's talk to Andrew calling in from Noombat Jam. Grind up little like lemur things and make a jelly out of them.
You do that.
And Andrew wants to know, what rights do LGBT people not have? Andrew, you're on the line with Forrest and Jovan. How are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm good, guys. How y'all doing?
I'm doing pretty well. The chat's super excited to see you.
Yeah, can y'all tell me what rights LGBT people not have? Because it seems to me they got all the rights that I have.
So really quickly, Andrew, can you be evicted from your home because of your sexuality?
No.
Okay, well, you can if you're LGBT. It is legal to evict a person from their home if you're a landlord. If they are gay or trans, you can kick them out of their house if you find out that they are gay or they're transgender. That's at least here in Oklahoma. I think in the rest of the country as well. But I know for sure where I live here in Oklahoma, that is a thing that is allowed to happen. Do you think that that is maybe taking away some of their rights and their freedoms?
Well, to have an apartment, is that a right? I don't know.
Do you think that it is a right
Housing?
to not be discriminated against? To say that you cannot have housing discrimination, is that a civil right?
Oh, I have no idea. Is it like a I don't know the law of it.
Okay, wait,
Yeah,
hold on.
so
What do you think? What do you think rights are, Andrew? Like, when you say rights, what are you saying?
I mean, like something that's like, I'm thinking like, when I think of rights, I'm thinking, actually, that is a good question. What is a right? I don't even know.
Weird that you would call in and ask this without thinking about that first.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, what's a right? I don't know what that is.
You want us to tell you?
Yeah.
Okay, so there are a few different types of rights, right? There are civil rights, there are like immutable rights or human rights. Rights would be a framework, essentially, of how people should engage with each other. Usually it's about maintaining some level of comfort or between you and when we're talking civil rights, it's between you and the government. So maintaining some level of life, liberty, and happiness between you and the government. When we're looking at rights between people, it's like how these people should engage with each other. So like when we say people have a right to housing, we're saying you as a person should be able to access adequate housing in the system we're currently in if you can afford that housing without being removed from that housing for a reason that has nothing to do with, gender, sex, race, religion. These are things people shouldn't be able to say you can get kicked out of your house. Would you agree with that?
Right. So
Yeah. So, like our rights, yeah, I agree with that. Like our rights, are they affirmed in a positive, or like are they like negative rights? Like say, you can't do X. If you do X, something will happen.
They can be either. You can either have a positive or a negative right.
Right. So like saying
if
you think about a right, if you think about a right as like an entitlement or like something that is granted or given to you, which isn't the way that I would think about them, but like it's easier to think about in this way. You have a right to life. No one has the right to take your life. So if they do that, that is murder, right? You have a right to liberty, right? You have the right to be free in your society. If anyone tries to restrict your liberty, they better have a goddamn good reason to do it. We talk about the right to housing. It doesn't mean when Jovan and I say it, we think that housing is a human right insofar as everyone should be guaranteed some place to live. But in this case, in the legal sense, in America today, we're talking about like you have a right to not be discriminated against when seeking housing. Same thing with employment. You have a right to fair employment. You have a right to fair education. So like these are what we're talking about when it comes to rights. I'm not a lawyer. This is just the way that I'm seeing it.
So
right.
Just to make sure, Andrew, real quick, just make sure you know. When we look at rights in the United States, on paper, we all have essentially the same rights per the Constitution, on paper. But that's not really the way it works out in practice. So when people come up and they say, well, what right does X person have that you don't have? Well, on paper, we all essentially have the same rights. But in practice, a lot of barriers are going to be placed on people of different identities, especially LGBTQ people, that are not placed on me or you, right? I can walk into a bakery and they're going to make a cake for me. The Supreme Court said they don't have to do that if you're gay.
I mean, I think it. Well, he said. Well, I think it all depends, like on because sometimes when gay people say they have a right to have like a cake baked for them, that can conflict with some people's religious beliefs. Like some Christians, they don't want to make cakes for gay people.
There is nothing
Andrew,
in the Bible
what
that
if
says don't make cakes for the gays. Doesn't
right? What there a lot of people. So we used to have slavery in this country, and that slavery was largely propped up by Christians who believed in the curse of Ham in the Bible, and so they believed it as you can read the Declaration of Secession from Texas. They believed that slavery was a biblical framework that every Christian nation should uphold. So, do you think that it's reasonable today to say this business doesn't serve black people because it goes against their religion? They think that these people should be enslaved. Is that freedom?
Well, no, the Bible doesn't say nothing against about black
That's
people.
not what I asked you.
That's
not what I asked you. Because Confederates did think that it said about black people, but that's not the point. There are a lot of Christians who believe that the Bible specifically says that black people should be enslaved. Whether or not you agree with their denomination of Christianity is irrelevant. I'm asking you, if a Christian says we don't serve blacks here because we are Christian and this goes against our religious belief, are they right in doing that?
No, they're not right. They got the wrong religion.
Okay. Is that why they're not right? Or is it wrong because it's discrimination?
It's wrong because they have the wrong religion. That's not what the scripture teaches.
Then that's a whole other disgusting thing that we'll get to later. The point now is that if these people say it goes against their religion and they want to do this thing and they want to discriminate against these people, now we have a conversation about rights. They have a right to have their religion. They do not have a right to be discriminated against. Meanwhile, black people do have a right to not be discriminated against in this way. They are protected by civil rights laws. So these people are in the wrong because they are not adhering to the rights of everyone. Holy fuck, we'll talk about the wrong religion thing later because that was gross. But that's not the point of the call right now.
Slavery is using physical force. The Christians that don't want to bake the cake, there's no violence there. There's no physical force there. He just don't want to break a cake. When you say it's wrong to try and use physical force to try and
Andrew, do you think? Just don't tell me about what is or anything like that. I'm asking you a question about your personal viewpoint. Do you think it is okay that someone refuses service to another person because that person might happen to be gay?
Yeah, why not? What's wrong with that?
Okay. Do you think it's okay if someone does that to a person because they might happen to be black?
Yeah, I believe in complete you should be able to associate who you want to be able to associate with.
So you believe that we should repeal like the Civil Rights Act? You believe that saying that somebody should not be discriminated based on immutable characteristics like sex, race, age, gender, ability, things like this should not be the case. If you want to discriminate against somebody, you should be allowed to.
Yeah, like if I want to open a store that's all and I want to hire nothing but black people, and I don't want to hire white people, I don't see what the problem with that is.
So the issue here,
so you're just a bigot,
Andrew. the issue we've run into is you came up into the chat or into the call with a premise of what rights do they not have, but it doesn't matter what rights we present to you that they don't have because you don't believe they should have them to begin with.
No, they should have their rights. I'm saying that.
No, you don't believe that people.
You literally just said they should
be discriminated against. You believe people do not have a right to not be discriminated. Rather, the right goes to the discriminator.
No, I'm not saying they should be locked up or anything. I'm just saying that you should be able to associate whoever you want to associate with.
We're not saying that either. We're saying that people have a fundamental right in our government against being discriminated on for immutable characteristics, things about themselves they cannot change, such as race, sex, gender, things like this. You're saying that this thing that has been a right of the people since the Civil Rights Act was passed, okay, an act to solidify your civil rights into law, you're saying, I don't believe that they should. Therefore, even if we presented you evidence, which we could and have, of those civil rights being repealed, you don't care because you don't think they should exist anyway.
Oh no, I don't think that if it's like, causing somebody physical harm, I don't think that if you're a business owner, I think you should hire whoever you want to hire. That's a.
No one's talking about physical harm, Andrew. We're talking about discrimination.
What's wrong with discrimination in some cases?
Andrew, do you think that it is appropriate that someone who is either giving a loan or renting a property or giving a job or whatever else, whatever kind of service, can just decide they don't want to give that to certain people?
Yeah, what is wrong with that?
Andrew, what is redlining?
That's what you said. No. If you want to go there, sure, but I have a different question when you're done.
Oh, go ahead. No. You go ahead. You finish up.
Sure. This is what you've said twice now, Andrew, and I just wanted to get you to repeat it to make sure we're all on the same page here. Now, my question to you is, would you be happy living in a society where you were the type of person being discriminated against? Remember, Jovan brought up race, gender, sex, all these other things. If we took every bit of your demographic background, whatever race you are, whatever gender you are, whatever sex you are, whatever sexuality you are, whatever you like, and we all decided as a society that we're going to discriminate against you, Andrew, and you now have a significantly harder time getting a house, getting a loan, getting a car, getting a job, going to the hospital, all these different things. Would you think that that is a fair and just society that you want to live in?
So they're going to discriminate against me on all those things?
Sure.
Well, they
like you're saying that. Yeah.
You know why they stopped? Because we passed the Civil Rights Act.
I want to hear his answer. Andrew, if you were being discriminated against in this way, and you, just because of who you are, for no fault of your own, because of the way you were born, you had a harder time getting a house, getting a car, getting a job, getting a bank loan, getting a cell phone, getting education, anything, getting married, anything, would you still be saying, yes, this is the way this should be, and people have a right to choose who they take care of and who they associate with and all this thing? Do you still have the same tone in that case?
No, it depends on what it is.
On what?
Well, if I'm, I shouldn't be discriminated against. Like for example, like I'm with a lot of like street preachers and stuff, and LGBT mobs will show up and they will do a lot of physical violence, and the cops don't do anything. So they discriminate against
Andrew.
You're
Andrew,
asking me
don't
how
pivot
I
to the
shouldn't be
next thing.
discriminated against.
No, I'm asking you if I'm asking you, Andrew, if we lived in a society, if all society today decided that everyone like you now cannot get married, can be kicked out of their house, cannot get a loan, cannot buy certain homes, cannot go to college, do you think that's good or bad?
No, that's not good because it goes against my religious beliefs.
Can I just point out how hilarious it is? How hilarious it is, Andrew, that you're like, yes, people should be able to discriminate against black people, but no, they shouldn't be able to be mean to me, the Christian. Black people,
these are violent people. These ain't not just mean. They're not just mean. They're physically violent, and the cops don't do anything.
Yeah, I'll believe you when I believe the birds and dinosaurs.
Right.
Yeah,
if the world was as scary as you're pretending, Andrew, maybe then you would understand why civil rights protections are important. But you don't, because it's bullshit. You just have a victim complex, and you think you're being persecuted when you're fucking not.
We are
Andrew,
being
what race are
persecuted
you?
as Christians. The LGBT
Andrew, what race are you?
mobs. I'm black.
And do you know what redlining is?
No.
You know what Jim Crow was?
No.
Fucking shit.
Is that a bit? Is this a bit? Are you doing a bit?
A what?
You as a
Andrew,
black man
do
who
you-
lives in the United States of America doesn't know what Jim Crow was?
Oh, I don't know what
Was
Jim
your-
Crow is,
your-
man. But
Was your
Do you
stepmother white? I
understand-
don't.
just out of curiosity, Andrew, you do know, like, just holy fuck, you are aware that there was a time in this country within a lifetime. There are people alive today that remember a time in our country when black people couldn't go to the same school as white people, couldn't drink out of the same water fountain as a white people, couldn't eat at the same restaurant as white people. You know that was a thing in this country, right?
yeah, I wouldn't care if I can't drink out of the same water fountain as a white person. Why okay, yeah.
Okay, so you know that was a
Okay,
thing.
let me talk.
That's discrimination.
Black man for a second.
That's what we're trying to fight against.
Let me just black man to black man real quick, Andrew. Black man to black man, okay?
Fuck.
I need you to understand something. If you're being genuine with me here, if you're trolling and this is just the troll, cool. I thank you for the entertainment and for the views, and I will gladly allow my paycheck to be a little bit higher this month because you've brought us hilarity. If this is genuine and you are speaking to me genuinely, you have been so indoctrinated by religion that you don't know the history of your own people. You don't know that we used to be separated
Those people aren't my
by
people.
race.
They're not my people.
Stop. Black people aren't your people?
No, not all black people are my people.
This is fucking
Okay.
sad.
Andrew, let me take this from this.
They're
Let
not
me
my
take this from
people.
this. Why do you accept that why do you accept Christianity when it was used verbatim to enslave black people for millennia?
What do you? So some people use the Bible to justify horrible stuff.
No.
I mean,
The
I believe-
Bible uses itself, Andrew. The Bible tells us we can own slaves. So when the Bible says you can own slaves, people said, "Oh, cool, we can own slaves. Let's enslave the black people."
It was
Jesus
specifically
never told us to own slaves.
Jesus never told you not to own slaves. It was specifically the curse of Ham. And again, like I said, if you look up the Confederate States of America, specifically the secession from Texas is the best example. The secession declaration from Texas says that the enslavement of black people and superiority of white people is the Christian way of life that every Christian country would uphold. In this country, we had the Slave's Bible, which was a version of the Bible that had every bit of redemption and justification and freedom and everything cut out of it. And it kept the parts of the Bible that said, slaves obey your masters, especially your Christian masters. Slavery was a Christian institution. The KKK is a Christian organization.
I don't care what some random crazy Confederate dude says. I'm telling you that Jesus never told us to own slaves.
Jesus doesn't tell you not to. God tells you that you can, and Jesus never once said, "Never mind, don't do that."
Well, I'm under the new
Do you have a
covenant.
Bible
We're
near you,
not
Andrew?
no Jew. I'm not no Jew.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what covenant you're under. Jesus didn't come to abolish the old law. He came to change not one dot or tittle of the old law. If you are saying you're not a part of the old covenant when Jesus didn't change the old covenant, then you're not going to heaven because you're not one of God's chosen people. So it doesn't matter what you do. Being a Christian kind of makes no sense.
Okay, but do you understand? Yeah, that's a whole nother thing. But I'm saying Christians face heavy discrimination just like the LGBT people do.
No, they
When?
don't. You're the largest religion in the country.
When we're constantly when we're out street preaching or handing out flyers, you have a mob of LGBT people who come up and they destroy our stuff.
Bro. No, I'm sorry, Andrew. Shut up. Trans people are killed. They're beaten to death. Fuck you. Straight up.
Yeah. When did the government, Andrew? Tell me a time specifically. When does the government come in and tell you that you cannot practice your Christianity, you cannot preach in public? When does the government do that?
The government don't say that, but the government don't protect us neither.
Right. Which is a form of, that would be discrimination if they were doing that. And now, as far as them not protecting you, you have an issue with individual police officers. I can give you 10 for every one example you give me of an anecdotal story you say where some LGBT person wasn't arrested when they were violent with you. I can give you 10 fucking billion examples of LGBT people having violence committed against them, and they didn't get justice either. Trans people specifically are 4 times more likely to experience both physical and sexual violence than just about anybody else in this country. So I don't fucking care that sometimes you have some people who are a little bit rough with you. You are the largest religious group in the country. Almost every single politician in the history of this country has been Christian. We have laws dedicated to Christianity all over the country. We have places all around the country that are putting the 10 Commandments in schools and on state grounds and on federal property. You are absolutely in a position of authority and power and privilege. You are experiencing equality. Other people are given the same right to you, and you call that discrimination.
They took prayer out of schools. They took the Bible out of schools.
Yes, because that's freedom, Andrew.
Yeah, okay.
That's freedom, Andrew.
You have a separation of church and state, you jabroni.
Because if they had prayer in schools, it would be... Andrew, if they had prayer and Bibles in schools, it would be forcing all the non-Christian people to be surrounded by and participate in Christianity, which would be discriminatory against them. Again, you are experiencing equality. There is no prayer in schools, no mandatory prayer. There are no mandatory Bibles in schools. There's also no mandatory Qurans in schools, or Torahs, or Bhagavad Gitas, or any other holy books mandatory in schools, because everybody's equal. You are calling equality discrimination because you're so used to being in a position of privilege.
Well, you said something. You said that there are laws protecting Christians. That is true, but these police officers, security guards, they don't uphold the laws. When Christians are attacked by mobs of LGBTQ people, they do absolutely nothing.
Tell that, Andrew, tell that to all of the protesters. First of all, I don't fucking believe you. But second of all, tell that same fucking thing to every time. Andrew, say that same thing then every fucking time there's a protest against racial inequality or racial violence, and the police officers themselves are the ones who are going out and committing violence against those protesters. Look at Black Lives Matter protests, which were very largely, I think 97% peaceful, and the 3% that turned violent was almost entirely because of white supremacists that came in and started causing violence. Every other instance of violence was by the police hurting protesters. So if you're concerned that in some situation the police didn't protect you when some LGBT person was violent with you, I'm very sorry that happened. The police should have done better. They do the same shit all over the place more often than not when people are fighting for equality.
Yeah, if progressives want to fight for equality, that's fine. I have no problem with that. But we do plan on taking to the streets and saying, hey, we want equality too, because we're tired of the violence. We're tired of our churches being shot up by LGBT.
Andrew, there's literally no inequality happening towards Christian people. You are fucking projecting.
There is.
Yes, there
There absolutely is. Andrew,
Andrew,
there absolutely is. There absolutely is inequality happening towards Christian people. And if you were fighting for equality for Christians, you would be fighting to get Christians the fuck out of office and the fuck out of power so that they are treated more equally to everyone else who is in a position of subordinates to them. all of the people, the Native Americans, the Muslims, the Jews, the Hindus, the atheists, the different racial groups around the country, everybody else who has been subjected to 400 fucking years of white supremacist Christianity, you would be fighting to put those people in power the way that Christians have been for the history of this country. If you were really fighting for equality, you would be fighting against the shit that you're saying.
Why would I be fighting? I'm not talking about like in office and all that other stuff. I'm just talking about everyday average Christian people. I'm not talking about the people in power or whatever.
How are everyday
everyday
average Christian people being discriminated against, Andrew? How are everyday average Christian people not getting equality?
Well, I'm saying that the street preachers who get attacked. The problem is that the police don't.
That's not a systemic issue. That is some anecdotal evidence where you saw some police not doing their jobs. And again, I can give you 10 million examples of the police not doing their jobs against all sorts of people.
And that's fine.
I can show you examples. I can show you examples of the police being racist and homophobic and sexist and discriminatory and all sorts of things. That's not an argument. So what is an example of everyday Christians actually losing their civil rights?
That is a loss of civil rights.
No,
if
it
you
isn't.
Attack me and if I'm being physically attacked,
with another person. Show me the police report. Show me the police report of police being told that you're being attacked and them doing nothing. Where's the report?
I can show you videos.
It's
great. Show me the video.
It's just he saw some street
I
preacher video
next
online.
Time I call in, I'll show.
No. Email it to me right now. Business@jovanbradley.com. Email it to me right now. Business@jovanbradley.com.
I email you all the videos. I email you all the videos. Gabe the street preachers, Cleveland street preachers, Kerrigan, Skelly, they all been attacked by LGBT lunatics.
Wait. I'm not saying they haven't been attacked. I'm saying show me the evidence of the police doing nothing.
Oh yeah, I'll show you. Cam Bigsley was attacked by a mob of BLM.
Cam Higbee.
And the police did nothing.
Cam Higbee is
Cam
Higbee Cam Higbee is who you're talking about.
No, his name is I don't remember his name, but he was attacked on a college campus, and they stole his posters and everything, and the police did nothing.
About Cam Higbee. I know Cam Higbee. Like I know him. He's a fucking piece of shit. And he was nobody touched him, nobody harmed him. They didn't like him being there, and guess what they did? They said, "Get out." Right?
Is taking his poster harming him?
No.
Is that harm to steal people's stuff? Is that harm to steal?
Steal his poster? No. Was he invited to that school by the college, or did he just show up?
Is that harmful to him?
Was he invited? Was he invited, or did he just show up? Was he invited, Andrew, or did he just show up?
Why do you need to be? I don't know if he was invited.
There we go. He wasn't.
Also,
the college didn't invite him. He just showed up.
I can't stress enough how fucking stupid this is, Andrew, because literally the only example you are giving us over and over and over is that some obnoxious ass street preacher had some civil altercation with some other person, and you don't think the police did enough. Meanwhile, what Jovan and I are talking about when it comes to LGBT people, when it comes to minorities, when it comes to racial minority, all these different things, we are talking about institutional discrimination. We are talking about people not being allowed to go to school, not being allowed to get a loan, not being allowed to get a job, not being allowed to buy a car, not being allowed to get married, not being allowed to get an education. And you're saying somebody was mean to somebody on the street and they didn't get arrested fast enough. Fuck off. Like, fucking go whine somewhere else.
Allowed to get married. What are you talking? They're allowed to get married. What are you talking about?
How long did that take? How long did that take, Andrew? When were they allowed to get married?
Are they allowed to get married now?
When were they allowed to get married, Andrew?
Didn't Obama sign legislation to make them be able to?
Yes.
Back in what?
Yes.
Yeah, so they're allowed to get married.
So we have Obergefell v. Hodges, right? Was the case. Let me double check there. I'm pretty sure that's what it
Right.
is.
You're right.
Oberfeld v. Hodges. Yes. And that was in 2012, I want to say, 2013. Off the top of my head. It was in the fucking past decade, right? So we have the whole history of this country. They are not allowed to get married. They are neglected of this right. They are barred from a basic right that everybody else has. Then they get it in our lifetime, Andrew, and already we have a major political party and justices on the Supreme Court talking about rolling that back and denying that right again. Give me an analog for how Christians have been treated that way. When was the last time that Christians, specifically, have had a right that it took so long, hundreds of years, for them to get that right, and now we're already arguing about taking that right away?
It hasn't happened to Christians. But just because they haven't been...
It hasn't happened to Christians ever in this country because you're not discriminated against, Andrew.
It doesn't matter if they're discriminated against by the government. What happens is if the people are attacking them physically and it's a mob of them and the law enforcement ain't doing anything, that's just as bad as the legislative being discriminated against legislatively. That's still just as bad to me.
That happens. That is not fucking true. And even if it was, that happens to LGBT people way the fuck more than it happens to Christians. A Christian preacher getting attacked by an LGBT person happens one time for every 10,000 times an LGBT person is attacked by a Christian. And the LGBT person, I guarantee, wasn't standing on the side of the street with a megaphone screeching about how much they hate everybody else, the way that the Christian street preacher is.
Well, yeah, they don't just say. Have you ever heard of the guy in Canada? What's his name? Christ Forgiveness, where he was trying to baptize a guy, and a mob of gay people just showed up out of nowhere, started throwing things.
They popped out of the ground like fucking LGBT daisies. That's what they do.
Andrew.
It feels that way.
Andrew, I just have 4 really quick yes or no questions for you. Just 4 really quick ones. Question number 1: do you feed the hungry personally? Do you give food to the hungry?
With a church, not by myself. We do it together with a church.
Thank you. So that's a no. Question number 2: do you yourself give water to people that are thirsty?
Yeah, of course. I bought water for people.
That's not what I'm asking. I'm not asking if you've bought water. I'm asking, do you consistently give water to the thirsty?
Oh, no, I don't consistently do it, but I do it.
Okay. No, thank you. Number 3, do you visit people in prison?
That's not no.
Do you visit people in prison?
No.
No, thank you. Do you let in strangers?
Like into your home?
What, into my house?
Anywhere?
No.
Do you agree with immigration?
Legal, yeah.
Okay, so no, you would not be in favor of letting strangers in. Do you heal the sick? Do you buy medicine for sick people? Do you put money into funds for people who are sick and all that?
Yeah, I donate, but healing the sick myself, no, I'm not a doctor.
Okay, no, thank you. Okay, so you don't do anything Jesus Christ says to do. So personally, I don't care what you say about Jesus Christ.
To heal the
you don't
sick.
follow Jesus Christ. That's not what I asked. I said, do you buy people medicine? Do you know when people are sick? Do you offer medicine? Do you do any of this? Oh, okay, so that's 1. You do one of the 5 things Jesus commands, and you expect me to sit here and be like, let's listen to the way Andrew, the 19-year-old, tells us that the world should be. Let's listen to what Andrew has to say about how Christians are so heavily persecuted. It's not like trans people aren't being killed. It's not like trans women, Black trans women specifically, don't face the most gendered violence of any person in any group. It's not like trans people don't get assaulted on the regular, raped on the regular. Sorry, I know it's a little harsh language for people in the chat. But it's not like that's not happening on the regular to trans people. It's not like gay people don't have an upward battle. It's not like there have been 800 plus anti-LGBTQ legislation just introduced into the United States this year alone. But no, Andrew, you're right. It's the Christians. That's who is, the people who have the largest religion in the United States. Those are the ones who are being persecuted. We took out the religion from school. Never should have been there in the first place because we have a separation of church and state. But you're right, Andrew. I'm so sorry that the Christians have it so rough.
You keep spreading this.
My God.
You keep spreading this lie about the separation of church and state. The separation of church and state was a letter written to the Danbury Baptist Association. That every state had a state religion.
Do you know what the Treaty of Tripoli is? You don't know what
I was about to pull it up.
You literally don't know what the Treaty of Tripoli is.
Before you pull it up, Andrew, was the United States founded on the Christian religion? Is this a Christian country?
Yeah, it was founded on Christian religion. Yeah.
And now, Jovan, my friend, please pull up the Treaty of Tripoli.
I know you don't know what it is, but the Treaty of Tripoli.
Hold on, you can bring up the Treaty of Tripoli in a second. I just wanted to finish my point real quick. You can bring it up in a second. And
the Treaty of Tripoli defeats your point.
Yeah, go ahead.
The Treaty of Tripoli says verbatim, the government of the United States of America is not in any sense founded on the Christian religion. So thank you for coming to our TED Talk.
Hold on. No. That's two different things. I'm saying that the country itself, the country itself, most of the people were Christians.
That's not what you agreed to a second ago, but that's awfully nice. Because a second ago, when I asked you, was this country founded on Christianity? And you said yes. Seems like this goes against what you said.
Well, wasn't there a point where you couldn't even come to America if you wasn't some kind of Christian, I think it was Catholic or Protestant?
Would that matter? Would that change anything, Andrew?
Yeah. Well, why doesn't that matter? I mean, if you can't,
the Treaty of Tripoli was signed in 1791. It was a document written so that people from majority Muslim states understood that the USA had no religious bias to it and they could come wherever they want. In 1791, the country wasn't even 30 years old yet. And the country said, hey, we have no founding religion. So anybody, especially Muslims, you guys are welcome here.
Well, okay, fair enough. I'm saying that every state had a state religion. That's what the separation of church and state and the
No, they didn't.
Yes, they did. Every
States
state
never had a state religion.
Most states had a state
Andrew,
religion.
what is the First Amendment? What does the First Amendment do?
The First Amendment.
Yes, what does that do?
You're talking about the freedom of speech.
Nope. What are there are 5 specific protections under the First Amendment. What are the 5 things that the First Amendment protects and guarantees?
It says, are you talking about Congress shall make no law respecting religion or something like that?
That's the first one. That's called the Establishment Clause. It is the first protection. Congress shall make no law establishing, respecting an establishment of religion. So, no, it is illegal for this country or any state in this country to have an official religion.
No.
That is simply not fucking true.
No, that's talking federally. That's talking federally. That's not talking with the state.
And
you got to go to the 10th Amendment.
The Supremacy Clause, you dumb motherfucker. The Supremacy Clause. Yes, the Supremacy Clause states that no matter what the individual states say, the Constitution wins. The Constitution is always the supreme law of the land. So if an individual state says we are a Christian state no matter what, the Constitution says no, you're not, and that law goes away. Andrew, it's been 38 miserable fucking minutes of you not understanding the basics of civics or history or anything. So what I'm actually, and this is going to sound like I'm being mean to you, and I am a little bit, but I mean it sincerely. I need you to go read literally any other book besides the Bible. Pull your head just a little bit out of your ass and learn about the history of the country that you fucking live in and the people who live here who rely on the protections that you are currently denying and conflating with some street preacher having someone be mean to him. You are a fucking baby who is upset that other people are getting the same toys as you, and it's fucking sad. You yourself are being oppressed by the religion that you are propping up and the right-wing bullshit talking points that you spew when you call in. And I've seen in the chat what other people are saying you've said every time you call in, and on the producer chat, shit that you say when you call in about how women are happier when they're married and how only gay people can be can be pedophiles. It's fucking gross. And it shows me that you live in a shitty-ass echo chamber of nothing but bullshit Charlie Kirk quotes and newsbacks. So fucking go grow the fuck up and learn what country you live in and learn what it means to be free. Fuck you, dude. Good gravy. So gross. So gross. Ugh. I can't hear a word you're saying, Jovan.
Oh, I was muted. I don't care.
That's the end of the show, apparently.
That was it.
Now everybody can hear me. I'm sorry. I just clicked the wrong 9. That's the other 9. I'm supposed to click 9 to make this happen, which is your names, not the 9 that is the 9 that makes the show end. Sorry.
I gotta say,
been the end of it.
That honestly, I would be okay with it at this point. If you, as a black person,
it was rough,
are over the age of 13, you should know what the fuck Jim Crow is. But he somehow kind of knew what the Treaty of Tripoli was.
I don't. I think he's probably said the dumb shit that he says on other platforms, and someone else has brought that up, and he just recognized the words, but he never fucking reads anything anybody says to him because he doesn't know how to read. So, like, I think that's probably what it was. He just recognized that this is a talking point against him, and he didn't think about what it actually meant.
Also, listen, I'm looking at the call list. Please, if y'all are, can we get some theists to call in or some conservatives? There are so many atheists in the call list. I want to talk to some disagreements.
We've got a couple of theists who are calling in, and we've got like fucking 4 atheists, and you guys are going to be waiting for a while. I'm sorry.
Like, I will talk to an atheist, but like, what if can we just lightning round it? Can we lightning round it? Can we say right now that anybody who's an atheist, we are going to, we see your question here. We are just going to quickly answer it and then bye-bye. Can we do that? Can we just lightning round the atheists real quick?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's talk to Sophie first. Sophie, her calling in from Funny Legs, who wants to talk about autism and bipolar disorder. Sophie, hey, we're going to speed round your call. How are you doing?
Hi, thank you so much. Sorry. So this is just coming from like the sense of like all the RK stuff and all that, and as somebody that is has a lot of things that they are trying to quote unquote cure. I'm curious in both like Forrest, your side of the biology sense, and Jovan's in the societal sense of like, is it even okay for us to try to cure it?
Okay, got it. Thank you. We're gonna just real quick. We're gonna answer this, and then we're gonna speed round and move on. I'll let Forrest go first, and then I'll go after.
I'm okay with that.
I don't know about bipolar disorder, but I know that like major autism advocacy groups are very clear about the fact that they do not want to be seen as diseased, and that this is not something they're looking for a cure. I know that there are other people. Jimmy Snow, for example, the guy who runs this channel, is autistic and has said publicly many times that if he could take a pill and not be autistic anymore, he would. And so, like, it is a very individualist thing. What's really more important about it is not pathologizing autism, because it is just so incredibly common and so incredibly spectral. Bipolar disorder is a different situation entirely, where that is a very discrete and thing with a very set. I don't want to use the word discrete twice, but acute. I don't know. It's a very discrete thing with discrete parameters and discrete presentation that has, very major impacts on somebody's lives and can be medicated against. And so, like, that I think probably would be more okay to talk about curing or treating or whatever like that than autism would be. But I'm not an advocate or not an activist in these areas. I'm just an advocate for those people. So yeah, that's my answer. Is yes, it's okay to talk about, just as long as you're not talking about them as if their existence is a problem.
Yeah, and I'll be super brief. I am autistic. If I could take a pill tomorrow and not have a meltdown over large crowds and like mass like really loud sounds, if I could take a pill and have that not happen to me anymore, I would. The thing that to me that's more important in this conversation, we really don't need to talk about if it will happen. If it eventually will be the case that we will be able to genetic out basically anything, like all like. You know, it might still take a while, but it will eventually hit the point where we're going to be able to genetic out almost anything we want, right? So it's going to become the case where it's no longer a question of like, of should we do it? Should we, like, it will be here, and there are going to be people that take the option. Now it becomes, hey, how do we navigate this in terms of what we think of these people? I don't think, like, as somebody who is autistic now, and I obviously know that my autism is vastly different from everybody else's, because autism is not the same for every single person. So my autism vastly different, right? If you were to say, Jovan, could you go back in time and make it so that you were born without autism? I'd be like, yeah. Why? Like, why not? Like, right? It's not like I don't do this whole like autism is a superpower thing, right? I don't do that whole like my disability is really my ability, right? Like, no, like these things are labeled disabilities. They do make life harder for people with them. There are benefits to it. It's not like everybody who has autism is struggling. That's not what I'm saying. I just know that I would trade almost anything else that the autism brings me if it means I don't have to have mental shutdowns where my brain hurts me because of stimulation. I would love that. But I don't think it's like when we're talking the ethical question, I don't think it's an easy answer, unfortunately, Sophie. I think it's just way too.
If we can come to a consensus on whether we should be talking about autistic people or people with autism, maybe then we can start whether or not we can talk about the next thing and the next thing. But right now, the community is so diverse, and activists in this area have such diversity of opinion on these things. The one unanimous thing is we're not a fucking disease. That's the one thing that I see unanimous.
You gotta remember, it's gonna only be rich people that are gonna be able to do it. So then what's going to happen, you have to think about the practicality of this. What's going to happen is you're going to have a bunch of poor people who still have children born with these things, who should have those children supported, but because they've become such a minority in the society, and because it might not be a lot of them, they're going to lose access to all of these things. So there's so many ethical questions about it that it's like, how do we even come to a conclusion? It might just be easier to say, no, we don't fuck with human gene tampering and leave it at that.
Yeah, just whatever you do, Sophie. If you're looking for information, don't look up Autism Speaks, because they're bullshit.
Oh, I know. I was like, I am on the fence as both an autistic person and somebody with bipolar disorder. But like, I already know Autism Speaks is not the best. But I won't take up too much of your time. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you so much. I'm going to leave a link in the chat. This is Autism Self-Advocacy Network and their list of affiliate groups, so everybody can see some cool stuff from there.
Have you seen, Forrest, that new medication people have been giving to their autistic kids? I at first kept seeing TikToks about it, and I was like, it's called... Shit, you're right. All we have to do to prevent autism is stop taking Tylenol. No, it's... I've seen people posting about it on TikTok where they're like, I gave my kid this and my nonverbal child started to speak and started to say words, not full sentences, but started to say words. And at first I was like, this just seems like fucking nonsense. And then I actually looked into it, and there is a specific not type of autism, but there's a specific thing with certain autistic children where I'm going to have to look up the specifics on it during the next call so that I can give the information correctly. But this specific drug, I don't remember if it was bone marrow or what it was. Bring up the next person. Let me look this up so that I have it and can give the actual information.
All right. Well, while Jovan is over there lying, we're going to talk to Twilight, any and all pronouns, calling in from Mexico, who has questions about religious and ideology and depression and stuff. And Twilight, you're on the line for us. And Jovan, how you doing today?
Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Never had a bad day.
That's great. Thank you for taking my call. First of all, I would like to thank you, Forrest, because I called a while ago, and thanks to you now I'm an atheist because I discovered that, yeah, it's true that there is no evidence for God whatsoever. And so I have to thank you for that.
I thank you for letting me be a part of your journey.
Thank you. So yeah, since then I tried to call, but it's really hard for us atheists to communicate.
That's
so
why
okay. So but right now I had an argument with a friend, and it rattled me a little bit because I didn't know that he had these ideas that were really weird in his head, and I thought that calling this show specifically was a great idea because what really troubles me is that he started talking about like these ideas of spiritual warfare and about how like we should start fighting for what we believe in maybe a little bit of an innocent way, but she said that he wanted to create a whole like YouTube channel with those ideas. And I'm like, oh my god, no! Like that sounds like that sounds scary. Like it sounds like he became one of those YouTubers that like grift and stuff. I don't think he would go there.
Yeah.
But it was a little scary because, yeah, like it all started because he tried to show me an essay about how war is an important part of humanity, but in a way that he actually told me that the word war should be used for more than just what we use it, that it should be used to explain all, like describe how we should to affront like every problem that we face, that everything we have to see as war, and that everything that we face should be considered an enemy. And that's where one thing lead to another, and asking what about like the spiritual warfare, because I know that he was raised very Catholic, and he said, no, yeah, like there are bad spirits that are like sent by the evil, and yeah, those also have to be fought. And so for him, somehow he's telling me that, yeah, everything is brought by the devil in a way. He didn't use the word the devil, but it was like kind of implied because of the background.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's like this idea that I actually have to fight for the definition of war, because he insisted that using the definition of war in a certain way was like correct, and I was like a little scared about that.
Yeah, we've got so two things. Number one, please just back off your mic a little bit. We're getting a lot of clipping on our end. It's real scrackly.
Sorry.
Yeah, you're just fine. It sounds like this person had, you said they were Catholic, but it sounds a lot like the evangelical Christianity that we have here in the States, where everything is seen as warfare and everything is a fight, and everything is, if you see gay people, that's spiritual war, and they want you to be a soldier in the army of Jesus, and it's really fucking creepy. And so it sounds like this person has bought into a lot of that kind of rhetoric. And I would encourage this person to, if it was me, I would encourage this person to go out and actually make new friends and just meet some of these people that he thinks are so evil and scary and everything, and learn that they're actually just fucking people. And maybe look them up and everything, and like undemonize these people in his head, because it sounds like he is bought into a lot of propaganda and a lot of very, very dangerous rhetoric. I would also encourage, at the end of the day, you can always call the Freedom from Religion, not Freedom from Religion, call Recovering from Religion, which is an amazing organization that has all sorts of people that are probably been there and can talk to them about like, hey, here's how I deconstructed from that shit, because here's what I learned. Or go look up everybody else's deconstruction stories about how they used to, Rhett and Link, really famous channel, the Good Mythical Morning, they talked about that, about like, they were raised super Christian, and they remember the time when they had their production assistant, the people, stagehand, whoever was helping them run their show, and this person's gay, and they're like, I really do love this person. I want the best for him, and I am being told that I have to hate this person, and that doesn't make any sense. And that helped them in their deconstruction. So maybe this person can go out and make some new friends and explore a little bit and just see people who want to live their lives in peace. And remember that if he's talking about war and he's pushing war and everything's war, that those people are not the problem. He is the problem.
Okay.
Those people want peace. Those people want to live their lives.
Because we also have a discussion about like the use of here. I think that he has a big problem with words because he has a big problem with the use of pronouns. Like he said, like, no, I don't care if they want to change the gender, but why do they have to change their pronouns? And I'm like, okay, I've been trying to communicate to the transgender persons that come here in the line, but it's hard to communicate sometimes.
I know. It's tough, and especially if there's a language barrier, there's only so much we can do. But like, yeah, they have him watch the Transatlantic Call-In show. Have him, see the different examples of trans people being just in the media, in the news, and just again, it's a lot like, I guess the best analogy I can get is there's a lot of people who get really bitchy whenever a woman exists as just a person, and it's like, you're dressing this way and I don't find that attractive, or you're dressing this way and that's too provocative, and you're out in the sun having fun and that's not what you're supposed to be doing. Just women just having fun, living their lives, not caring what people think about them is such an affront to so many incels on the internet. And so the conversation is just like, these people just want to live. They just want to do whatever the fuck they want to do, exactly like you do. It's not hurting you. They're just being themselves. And I find the same kind of tactics work a lot. We're talking about trans people or intersex people or whatever. They just want to live. They just want to be left alone. You want to live your life. They want to live their life. And if they're forcing their lifestyle on you, that's a problem. But I promise they're not. And you are forcing your lifestyle on them. So just let them be.
Yeah, because the thing that he mentioned the most, I think, is kind of like mental illness. The idea that you should take mental illness. He had cancer. Thankfully, he got through it and he's fine now. But he made me understand that for him, cancer was like a war, right? And that everything else that is like a mental illness. Like I have OCD. So he told me, hey, is that if you have problems with your OCD, it's because you should see it as the enemy and you should put war on it and be a warrior and defend yourself against this. And I'm like, that's not what my psychologist told me.
Well, sounds like he should go get a psychology degree too, and maybe learn why that type of rhetoric is really not fucking helpful. But anyway, Twilight, we're gonna jump on the next one. Jovan, do you have anything left for Twilight before we move on?
Nope.
All right, sweet. Twilight, I really appreciate your call. I hope we were some sort of helpful, and at least just knowing that you're not alone in this, I hope that helps a little bit.
Thank you very much.
Take care. Bye-bye. And we're still going speed round, so we're going to go straight into Riley, any and all pronouns, calling in from the frozen wastelands of Canada, who has general questions about intersex people. Riley, you're on the line with Forrest and Jovan. How are you doing today?
Hi there. Never been better. How are y'all feeling?
Hell yeah. I'm all right. A
little tired.
That's good. What
are your general questions?
So, I did not realize that there would be a speed round. So I guess my first general question is, where can I learn about intersex people? And not just intersex people, but also the history of intersex people. How we've sort of gone to learn about these people, the processes that we do. Does that make sense?
So
Am I making sense?
is.
Am I just rambling?
Yeah, it does. So here's I've got two links for you. Here is, oh my glob. I need you to calm down with your website. Here is, I don't know this one, but it looked pretty cool. This is intersex.org. I'm putting that in the link there. A whole bunch of educational resources I'm seeing here that talks about what intersex people are and how they live and everything. I'm also going to give you this resource here. This is the Human Rights Campaign. I do know this organization. They're pretty cool. Resources on understanding the intersex community. If you want to go beyond that, I would encourage you to check out. Hold on. Here's my undergrad textbook on human biology, which talks about intersex people. Here is this genetics textbook that talks about intersex people. But yeah, I guess I would just start with advocacy groups. Just type in intersex advocacy group into Google and start with the Human Rights Campaign and move on from there. And also look up organizations maybe in your community. You have somebody who, like, we have the Dennis R. Neal Equality Center here in Tulsa, which is a place for LGBTQIA plus people of all stripes and colors to come along and have a place of community. And they have tons of educational resources there, depending on where you live. I bet Canada is a little bit more progressive than Oklahoma is. And I bet you have a community resource as well in your community there.
Absolutely do. I'm in contact with them pretty frequently, so it's actually pretty nice to try and get to know about that.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Guarantee they have more resources than me right
now. Love it. Yeah, I myself am not intersex, but I am trying to learn about it because it's a very important hallmark in trying to understand, typical questions about gender, which I found to be far, far more complex than trying to identify my sexuality, which I know that's just a personal story. Like, for many people, it's going to be the inverse. But yeah, this is, what I'm trying. It's part of the journey.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a great part of the journey. Yeah. Anything from you, Jovan? Anything you want to add?
No, Dud, you gave a lot more resources than I could have.
All right. Take care, Riley. Bye-bye. Jovan over here being fucking lazy. By the way, my wife...
Lazy? You came in and gave 4 books. What did you want me to do? Yeah, go watch a YouTube video. You gave 4 books.
Lazy. So my wife texted me that when we were talking to the last person, Twilight, talking about the whole thing about war and all this stuff. She was very Christian when I met her, and she texted me, I believe that shit. It's pretty typical Christian shit, not metaphorical. We believe that there were actual demons and angels fighting all around us. You just can't see them. Literal invisible war all the time. So, like, yeah, that's I've heard of that shit, and I didn't know like how much it was put on her, but like, yeah, I've heard that quite a lot, where literally there is war all around you, and you have to be a part of it by your prayers. It's weird.
I also believe that there are literal devils and angels fighting.
I'm waiting for the punchline. What is that?
No, I believe it.
All right. Well, you're on the right show. We can talk about your faith
all the time.
You watch what?
Nothing. Next caller.
I feel like I missed a thing, and I'm going to be sad about it later. Let's talk to the last atheist on the line, and then we got 2 theists there, and then we can kind of fill in line, whatever else. We got Sergio, or I don't see him calling in from Brazil, who wants to talk about closing churches. Sergio, you are on the line with Forrest and Jovan. How are you doing today?
Hello, guys. I'm great now. I'm really happy to talk to you. I love your shows, and I have been watching you for years, before the line existed, and now basically exclusively with the line, because I love this let's say, hub of wisdom, of intelligence, of criticism in the best way. So congratulations for your work, guys. Sorry if I say something that you do not understand very well, because English is not my first language. So please ask if you don't get it.
Your English is better than my Portuguese.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm sure that many Cariocas, people from Rio de Janeiro, love you too. I am from Rio here. And Jovan, it's been a pleasure to listen to you too. Many, many programs, not only today.
Thank you. Hell yeah. Jovan's got his mic muted, but I believe he likes that.
No, I don't.
Okay.
Oh, you just mouthed words then. I couldn't hear it. It was weird.
I said thank you. Fix your headphones for us. That's
you didn't. No, you didn't. He's too lazy to say thank you out loud.
You're amazing, guys. And I wonder how you can have so much resilience, stamina, to hear such things like the guy who was talking about slavery and discrimination. My God, you have been doing this for years, every day, basically. Yep. I would have half of your patience. And believe me, guys, I come from that realm. I used to be a pastor from the Baptist church. I used to be a bigot who believed in gay cure, conversion therapy, and I deconverted 20 years ago, becoming an atheist. During my last 2 years at church, I struggled to keep believing, but I couldn't.
Yeah.
Because reason was speaking so loudly that I couldn't play the deaf. I'm sorry if it sounds like a little bit, how do we say that? Prejudice, but there is a name for this. Is there the word capacitist? Is there this word in English? I'm not sure.
Something like that, yeah.
If I sound, I'm sorry if I sound a bit like that, but I couldn't really play, a deaf ear to my reason, shouting that all of that was total bullshit. And then I had to unmake my whole life because I was married to a woman. I had 2 children. I had to come out of 2 closets, being a gay man and being an atheist. And I had been married for 14 years to this woman. And I left her, but I never abandoned her or my child or my children. I always did my best to support them until she could get married again and start a new life. But I stayed close to my children all the time. I have been married to another man for 10 years, and I don't regret one single second of my atheism. And by the way, it's important to say this. I didn't become an atheist to make peace with my sexuality. The 2 things went like head in head together, shoulder to shoulder, but they were totally different processes. And they were very hard, guys. I really suffered a lot. And I don't know how I didn't do anything crazy because I never thought of taking my life away. But I saw many people that did the same because of this, or even less than this, because different amounts of suffering can have different types of impact on people. Some people suffer for 1 year and they think it's over. Other people suffer for 14 years and they think they can still go on. But the thing is, thankfully, I have been an atheist for 20 years. And my question for you guys, if you want to ask something, you can ask too. But my question, this is your program, as you always say, and I love it. But my question for you is this. I heard, and I read about this here, some statistics that have been released and commented on by many sites, that about 15,000 churches are expected to be closed, to be shut down by the end of 2025. My question is, with so many churches closing, and fewer people going to services, do you think the U.S. is heading toward a more secular future, or could some new kind of, quotes here, spirituality take its place? Do you think that rationalism, secularism, humanism will take the place of all of this, let's say, spirituality that people are leaving behind, or something else might come up and we would have to deal with new challenges, but maybe some old stuff would just get, dressed in a different way. What do you think about this? I'm really curious about your opinion about this.
I think America's running headfirst into like Christian nationalism, and I don't see any signs that it's slowing down.
Yeah, I would say that I first of all, congratulations on your whole fucking story. That's huge. It's incredible. Second of all, I would say that it's definitely there's a rise of secularism. People who don't claim any religion are the fastest growing religious group in this country, at least. And so I definitely have some sort of hope for that. But Jovan is absolutely right. Here in America specifically, Christian nationalism is on the rise, and they have a lot of political power. So while it doesn't represent most of the country and the people in it, certainly, it does represent the majority of our politics. And so with churches shutting down, if you had told me that at face value, I would be very hopeful and very happy and be like, hey, maybe people are leaving. But at this point in American history, I would have to assume that it's probably because the economy sucks and those churches can't keep open. And then our right-wing government is going to use that fact as evidence that Christianity is under attack and try to push more Bibles in schools. So, like, I'm not very hopeful when it comes to the government. I am very hopeful when it comes to people, though. I think there's a lot more people out there like you who are willing to put in the hard work to actually think this shit through, and will free themselves from religion. But the government is going to do everything they can to continue indoctrinating children.
My God, that's really something that I hadn't thought about, but it totally makes sense. Totally makes sense. And it's interesting how religion can find a way to always transmute a little bit, at least in a way that's enough to keep people deceived, as if it was something new, but it's still something rooted in old things, old beliefs, old practices. And it's incredible how it can make people really do bad things, even when they are good, because that was my experience too. I was raised in a Catholic home. Later on, I converted to Christianity as the evangelicals preach, and I became a missionary, then a pastor. I went through the seminary. I did theology, and then went on with post-graduations, other things. But it's incredible how this shaped me to be, let's say, worse than I was when I was not a Christian. But because my character before used to be a good one, I mean, I really cared about people. Even with these dogmas on my mind, I was still merciful. I was still empathetic to people. For example, I would never agree with Andrew that people can discriminate against gay people or whoever. Here in Brazil, we have a very strong law that forbids any establishment, any shop, commercial establishment from refusing service. They cannot refuse service. Whoever the client is, whoever the customer is. If it happens, the establishment can even be closed. And if it's not, people manifest in a way that the owner of the establishment will regret doing it. And usually, people who are not even involved in the group that they are discriminating against will be there, So this is something that doesn't happen here.
That's the way it should be.
Exactly. But the thing that I was thinking about is, when I was a Christian, I would never support something like this. And I think that I got a lot worse than I used to be because of my belief. Because if I hadn't converted, I wouldn't have preached the things that I preached. But as I usually say, people
I want to just let you know something about the U.S. And this is something I've been like toying with back and forth. So I'm going to be very upfront. And if people disagree with me, that's fine. I think I'm spot on here. Most of the Christian nationalists in the United States aren't actually Christian. They are racists. They are using Christian nationalism because they want to promote a white supremacist power in the United States. So they use Christianity as the guise for this. This is why most of them talk about white replacement theory. This is why most of them talk about all this other fucking nonsense. So yeah, they don't. It's not about Christianity. So when you have people from another country, which isn't like white majority, who are Christian, they look at this and go, what do you do? This isn't how we should behave. But because American Christians don't care. The ones that are pushing for Christian nationalism, it is fully a race thing. They are absolutely just trying to move forward and make it so that America stays a white majority country because they are racist.
Yeah, so you can hear the buzzwords a lot when people talk about Western culture and the West as a whole. That's usually what that is. Anyway, Sergio, I really appreciate you calling in. I appreciate your journey. I wish you the best. We got to move on to the next call, but please call us back anytime if you have anything else you want to talk about.
Thank you so much. I totally understand. And guys, keep on with this wonderful job you have been doing. I'll be always rooting for you.
We'll do our best. Thank you so much. We'll do our best. Take care, man. Bye-bye. To the person in chat who's really upset that somebody might be eating on camera, maybe if you bitch about it really, really, really hard, maybe then we'll start worrying about it. But I don't think you've bitched hard enough yet. So try crank that up to 11.
Well, I as somebody who's watched streamers my whole life, I've never given a shit when a streamer is eating. I don't care. Who gives a fuck?
I used to be really stern about it back when I was starting out. I was like, I will never fucking eat on camera. And then on my own like shitty podcast that I had for a couple of months, I had a day where I had to fucking do it because it was like, I've been sitting here forever and I'm really fucking tired and I just have to get something in me. And so I'm going to be quick about it, but I got to do it. And now on this channel, same thing. I don't like come in here with a fucking sandwich or anything like that. But if I'm doing a long show or if I'm doing back-to-back shows or if I'm just fading fast, I care more about having the energy to give you a good performance. And if I'm sitting here, my stomach's killing me and I'm thinking about that, I'm not focused on the call. Look away from the camera for a minute. Like let me fucking crank some sushi down so I can focus on the job.
We mute ourselves like when we go to chew and whatnot. So who gives a
And
fuck?
also like some people are diabetic, some people have blood sugar issues, some people have medical issues they need to be eating. Like there's a lot of reasons why somebody might do it. And it's not just because they're rude and they want to gross you out. Like they have a whole life and they're not just a robot here for your entertainment. They are a person with a body with problems and they're dealing with those problems while providing you a service of the show. Deal.
Real.
Like, it's so weird. Anyway, let's go on to our next theist caller. It's either Ellie, I'm guessing Ellie from Finland, pronoun she and her, who wants to talk about trans folks. Ellie, you are on the line with Forrest and Jovan. How are you doing today?
Hello, it's Eli.
Eli, pardon me.
Yes, no worries. So yeah, I was just, okay, it was kind of confusing with the one who was taking the call. I'm kind of theist and not theist at the moment. I'm kind of dissociating from like the whole religious stuff.
Based.
Because yeah, but basically, I wanted to know what it is because I'm trans, and I wanted to know that what is it in my head that makes me trans?
Nothing.
Pretty quickly, just so there is.
Short answer, nothing. Long answer, long answer. We don't 100% know, but the short answer is like your brain is like
okay,
structured.
So there's a couple things here. So like we're talking about specifically in your brain, in your head, whatever like that. There's two different things to think about. Number one is that, and I'm going to say something, and then I'm going to completely negate it, and then I'm going to move on to the next thing. So just stick with me for a second.
Exactly where you're going with it too.
There are some parts of the brain that have minor sexual dimorphism between males and females. And we're talking about clusters of neurons like the size of a grain of rice here. If you're talking about rats or songbirds and things like that, these are differences that are big enough to be seen with the naked eye. When we're talking about humans, we're talking about tiny little parts of the brain that the differences you would be really hard pressed to notice without some serious equipment. And what we find is that there are a ton of studies out there that show that trans people's brains, their neural architecture aligns more with their gender identity than it does with their sex assigned at birth in this region and that region and this region, whatever. The issue with that, and the reason why that doesn't tell us too much, is that also there is like, we used to think that there were like literally structurally male and female brains, but like reviews of those things has now shown that these differences between males and female brains, they're not internally consistent and they show a huge amount of variation across populations. And so there really isn't such thing as a male or female brain. There's a brain with kind of more female leaning things sometimes and other ones that don't have that. And there's not really a way to slice up a brain and be like, aha, this person was a female because they have these things. There's really just nothing like that. Saying male or female brain is no more useful than saying male or female heart or male or female kidneys. Yeah, there's some dimorphism there a little bit, but not in a real way. What is more important on all of that is activation patterns, how those brains operate and how they light up and in what situations. The fact of the matter is, we live gendered lives. We experience our gender, and we experience the world around us and have cultural context of gender that work on us. And that causes patterns of neuroplasticity. That causes our brains to remodel themselves and light up in different ways depending on different circumstances. And what we find is that the activation patterns of a trans person's brain are very much more consistent with their gender identity than their sex aligned at birth. Great example of that. There's this one study that I can put in the chat if you want, from a long time ago, where these folks put these people in a brain scan machine, and they were showing them pictures of their body that computer generated imaging morphed their body closer to or farther away from their sex assigned at birth. So if they were an anatomical male, they would watch this computer thing morph their body to look more like a female body, or make it super hyper masculine and muscular and triangular and whatever. And cisgender people, we see this brain activation pattern of approval when they see their body morphing towards their sex assigned at birth. Transgender people, we see the exact same activation patterns when their brain morphs away from their sex assigned at birth. Another great example, phantom limb syndrome, is something that we see when somebody loses a limb and they can now still feel that limb. Especially they feel pain in that limb, even though it isn't there anymore, because their brain still perceives this part of their body as being there, even when it's not. Transgender people have been shown to have phantom pain in parts of their body that they don't have. A phantom penis, a phantom vulva, phantom breasts, phantom hips. Like, these things that, like, they're experiencing. Yeah, dude. They're experiencing sex characteristics of the opposite sex, even though that they don't have these parts, and it's because that's what their brain is telling them should be there. And so the fact of the matter is, there is no such thing as a male or a female brain, so to speak, but as we live gendered lives, we develop more or less gendered brains along the way, and those gendered brains then tell us what we're feeling and what we're experiencing, contextualize those things, and when that's incongruent with our sex assigned at birth or the world around us, that fucking sucks. And that's what's going on in your head that makes you trans, or at least that's what's going on in your head as you are trans. That isn't what makes you trans, but that's what's going on in your head as a trans person, if that makes any sense.
There's been some limited study and evidence that there are, because of the way hormone washes happen in utero, that this can have a link to what your gender identity is. It's very limited research, so there's no way to like say definitively, but there has been that limited research on hormone washes in utero. But Forrest is it, like, me personally, I don't think we should be worried about why as much. Like, the sheer fact of the matter is that, like, as you would know, trans people exist, and so it's like, to me, there's such a more interesting question in the sociology aspect of it than there will ever be in the biology aspect of it. I'm way more interested in how our brains interpret information from what's going on around us in society, and how, like, culture and societal things can literally rewire our brain. That stuff is so, comparatively, not to, Forrest is the biologist, so not to like demolish, but like, it's just
it's okay. Fuck you too. It's all good.
But yeah, to me, I'm just interested in that. But yeah, there, like I said, there is some evidence that hormone washes in utero can affect. And I don't remember if they specifically. I think it's that they specifically affect the way your brain interprets its sex, not your gender identity, but how your brain connects with like your body's own sex.
If I remember correctly, estrogen causes male typical brain development, and so you actually have to like have a protein that binds estrogen and stops it from getting to the brain if you are chromosomally female and you're developing it. So it's a whole fucking thing. But yeah, there's something like that. I don't remember off the top of my head. What I do have is, you can go to my sex and sensibility video and dig through the resources in there. It's a fucking smorgasbord of whatever studies that I found over the years that I thought were interesting and put in there.
It's actually called smorgasbord.
You don't know what things are.
Yes, I do, because I speak fluently Swedish. So take that. I mean, I'm like 5% of Finnish people speak Swedish, so
Hell yeah.
There's like a whole different culture kind of
Hell yeah.
thing. Yeah.
I'm
I don't.
convinced that it's fine. Go ahead.
But yeah, thank you for this. I don't think I had anything else. And
right on. I appreciate you calling in.
I hope your country will get better, because I'm watching some stuff from here and I'm like, holy shit, I don't want to be there. I'm so happy
country will be fine. Forrest won't have any issues.
You don't know that. The president just said that people like me are terrorists.
Oh my God, true.
Yeah.
First true thing he said
anyway,
in his whole presidency.
I mean, we have some problem here too. There was one politician who said that she wanted to tax like fat people.
Yeah.
Huh?
It's fucking wild.
What about me?
Yeah.
For big bones.
What about me? God.
I was like, yeah, no one likes her, but shit, still everyone votes her in. So yeah.
Yeah, we have a few of those. Eli, I really appreciate you calling in and hanging out with us. Thank you so much for being here, and thanks for waiting so long for us to take your call.
Yeah, it's currently like 5 a.m. at the moment, so I'm gonna go to sleep.
Nice. Take care. Bye-bye.
Yes. Bye.
I'm not worried at all about the president calling me a terrorist. I'm probably on a watch list, but at least I'm not on the fucking Epstein list. We've got.
I have to leave the country at some point this coming year. I'm traveling out of the country, and I'm just like, man, I wonder if my passport will work on my way back.
I was worried about that too. Because I'm doing the same thing. I've been traveling out of the country quite a bit, and like every time I set I have to set a new password on my phone when I come back in just to be safe. Do want to throw it out there, by the way. We have one more theist on the line that we will talk to next, but we still have lines open for theists. So if you are a Christian or a creationist or a transphobe or whatever else if you think that we had one person call in for a while who said something about how
the rest of the stream.
We had somebody call in at one point and said something about like how MAGA is the good peoples and that they've dropped. But like, if you're a MAGA, if you're a Trump supporter, I would love to talk to you. If you're a transphobe or a homophobe, I would love to talk to you. If you're a Christian or a creationist, I would love to talk to you. This is the show for you to call in and discuss these things with people who disagree with you. I also want to throw out there, I just remembered I was going to show a thing. I went to the P.O. box. I've got a P.O. box, and I went there the other day, and I found something in there that I'm so excited to show everyone. And since we are at peak views right now, we've got, was that 2,200 people watching, 2,200 people watching right now. Look at this fucking thing. Somebody crocheted a zerba or knitted, I don't know, but look at it. Look at it. Look what someone did. This is what you've caused as a channel. You've made this happen. You led people astray to the point where they put in their time and effort into making this adorable, amazing thing. Look at that shit. Ugh. Thank you so much. This is incredible. I love it. And I'm so sorry that whatever happened to you to make you decide to do this with your time happened to you. This is an incredible gift. Thank you so much. And I want to put this on the shelf. Right now, I'm going to put it over here by this Roland that somebody made. That's where that guy will live.
If anyone wants to send me stuff like that, make sure it's like a legitimate Labubu. I will accept a Labubu.
Legit boo. Labujit? Labubu? I don't know.
Labubu. I don't know. I hear they're worth money.
Incredible gift. I could not be happier about that. It blows my mind that somebody made that.
How often do you dust your
potentially? How often what?
How often do you dust your bookshelf? Go back there right now and run your finger along. I want to know, is it dusty? Let's find out. Let's see.
Not a speck, my guy.
Wow. I could not do the same.
Allison Jones, somebody says in chat, that was the person who sent it to me. I don't have they sent a letter and a whole thing, and I don't have that with me. I just have that.
He threw it away.
Everybody know how incredibly cool. I did not. It's in my filing cabinet with all the other fan mail. But it's very sweet. It's an incredibly sweet gift. Let's talk to potentially our last theist of the night, because this is the last one on the line right now. We'll keep the lines open. If any more call in, we'll talk to him. But this may be our very last one. Let's talk to Jerry, pronouns he, him, calling in from Alligator Logarithms. What times what makes alligators, you know? And wants to talk about how we can't dismiss the good that religion does because of some of the bad things that believers believe. Jerry, you're on the line with Forrest and Jovan. How are you doing today? Jerry, are you there? Jerry, can you hear me? It says you're calling in from a phone, so it should be okay if your phone's asleep. That only is a problem if we're on the web caller.
Apologies.
Bear.
Can you hear me
There
now?
we go.
Oh, there. Yeah, we got you.
Yes, I can hear you.
Excellent. How are y'all doing this evening?
I'm all right. I'm all right.
Chilling. Long and to the left.
I don't know what algorithms you mentioned. I'm just from Alabama.
It's alligator logarithms. It says AL, and I assume that meant alligator logarithms. I don't know what else it could possibly mean.
No, that's Alabama.
I don't know how I could have known that.
Okay. I was calling in to just kind of say, one of the things that I think about most is Jesus said these three remain: faith, hope, and love. The greatest of these is love. And I think a true Christian displays love, being a reflection of Christ.
Okay.
I don't think Christ loved us.
That. Does that love extend to LGBT people and to women and to people of color and everything else?
Yeah. Why?
I think it's
would it
flawed.
not?
Jerry, I think it's flawed because I don't think Christ actually loved us.
Pardon?
Well, hold on. I agree with you, Jovan. I agree that the love presented by Jesus, I don't think is real love. I agree with that. But just to understand where Jerry's coming from for a second, if it's okay. Does that love come along with like a whole shitload of judgments? Like if we're talking specifically, for example, about gay people, are we disavowing their homosexuality?
I'm talking about three things. I'm talking about three things remain: faith, hope, and love. I'm not talking about judgment. I'm not talking about hate.
I get that. That's why I'm asking you, because just to be clear, Jerry, first of all, Paul said that in Corinthians. Jesus never said that. But what's more important is the fact that like the love that I have experienced from Christians my whole life is certainly not the love that you seem to be promoting here today. And so we're trying to just get to the bottom of what you
there
mean
are
by
perfect
love,
reflections of
because
Christ.
we're just trying to get to the bottom of what you mean by love, because 99% of the time when a Christian talks about love, it's horrible.
No. Love. Just love. Love in what love means. It's not about judgment.
What does love mean?
There is no judgment. Gosh, I don't remember. I don't remember the scripture. But like love is blah 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 blah, and it's not
patient, love is kind, love does not.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, that's also conditional. That's also Corinthians.
Jerry, is love conditional?
Exactly. Is love conditional? No.
Yeah. Then I don't know why we're bringing this up around Jesus.
Yeah, Jesus definitely has conditional.
The love that Jesus promotes.
He promotes conditional love.
Like, pardon me. I'm sorry.
Jesus promotes conditional love, which we both just agreed conditional love isn't love.
No.
Yes.
I don't
Say
think
words too.
Jesus promotes conditional love. I mean,
You don't think Jesus. What happens if you don't believe in Jesus and God? What happens to you? Where do you go for all eternity?
Who knows? I mean,
Who knows?
Wait, you don't believe in
I'm a
hell?
little. Pardon me?
Do you not believe in hell?
I think hell is a construct made by early Christians when they started making Christian dogma. I
think Jesus
I
says
don't
hell is a
know.
place, a literal place of fire. So I don't know why we're. Jesus
No,
himself
I mean,
says
you're
that
talking
hell
about
is
like
a
literal place of fire is only mentioned in what, Revelation?
Nope, it's mentioned in Matthew as well.
Okay. I mean, I'm no biblical scholar. It's been a long
Jesus,
time since I've
if I remember
read the
correctly,
Bible.
Jesus specifically. If I remember correctly, I'm also not a biblical scholar, but I believe Jesus talked about hell as like this external darkness, lake of fire, all that stuff. He talked about hell more than anybody else in the Bible, and it is from him directly that we get the idea of like the wailing and the gnashing of teeth, the fire and brimstone, all that shit.
Oh no! I'm going to. I apologize. I respect you, Forrest. I've actually watched your videos for years. But no, I don't think that is where the weeping and gnashing of teeth comes in from. What Jesus says that?
Let me double check, so because I
just don't think so.
Well, he
I
definitely
mean,
says that hell is a place of fire prepared for the devil and his angels. So
I mean, I'm not disputing, but I do think weeping and gnashing of teeth was a little bit different. But I also, like I said, not a biblical scholar, could be wrong. I just think my whole claim was when I came in was that being a reflection of
Forrest
Christ.
is right. Jesus said that. Jesus said the gnashing of teeth in Matthew 13:42.
Yeah, here, I've got it right here. It's Matthew 13, 41 and 42. The Son of Man will send his angels, and they will gather out the kingdom and all causes of sin and all lawbreakers and throw them into the fiery furnace. In that place, there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. He then calls it hell, the hell of fire in Matthew 5. In Matthew 25, the eternal fire prepared for the devil and his angels. In Mark 9,
Like
unquenchable fire. And in Matthew 25, eternal punishment. That's all from Jesus himself.
Corrected, because it's not just
I'm not trying to lecture you. I'm just being very clear about it.
I'm not standing. The thing is, like, I understand. I'm not standing on the Bible. I'm standing on this interpretation of love.
Okay, so where is the love in hell?
I think hell doesn't exist.
Well, Jesus
Honestly,
does.
I think it's a construct.
Jesus does.
No. I think hell is a construct made by.
Why are we just gave you direct passages of Jesus talking about hell?
Because
let me ask you another question.
I already told you I don't stand on the Bible.
Okay, so let me ask you another question then. Do you think that God is in control of this world?
No.
Okay, well then we agree he's not all powerful then. That's good. We're making some progress.
No, I mean,
so wait, are you?
I think. I mean, I definitely agree.
You're
like
Christian,
we
though,
are,
right, Terry? Like you believe in Jesus.
Pardon me.
You're a Christian, right? Like you believe in Jesus Christ.
I am more of a Gnostic Christian, I guess you could call me. Like I
just wonder where.
Or
I assume he means a Christian who's just not sure.
No, he said Gnostic, not agnostic. I'm pretty sure he said Gnostic. So you know for sure Jesus
Gnostic,
is God.
Yes. No, I think it doesn't have to do with a true knowledge or belief. It's about being or understanding of the principle of it, and like the understanding the love of being a reflection of Christ.
Well, how do you know that love is a reflection
Jesus
of Christ if you don't stand
reflection
on the
of
Bible?
God, and we are supposed to be a reflection of Jesus, and so that's the only way we can imitate
Jerry, how
that
do you
true
know
love.
any of that if you don't stand on the Bible? How do you know any of that to be true?
because I don't think the Bible makes it true.
No.
Why? I mean, because
Wait,
you don't.
you
Why,
believe
the
the
I
Bible.
think this
You
is
believe,
a
hold on,
inherent
Jerry,
truth.
Jerry. Do you believe that the Bible is your religious book?
No.
Like, do you believe that the Bible tells
No.
you? Okay,
Take the Bible
you
out
don't.
of it.
You
I
would say-
think there are
do
many
you believe the
religious
Bible is a
texts.
work of fiction? Do you believe the Bible is a work of fiction?
I think there are many religious texts, and they can all point point a finger towards the moon. No, I do not think the Bible is a work of nonfiction. No, it's allegory.
So then what
it's
are you
story.
basing your belief on? Like Jesus existing, how do you know that was a thing that was like real?
It has no. I don't care if Jesus. I don't think. I don't believe in zombies.
Why do you call yourself a Christian if you don't believe in Jesus?
No, I believe in the Christ power.
What does that mean?
That means it's a reflection of the God power. We are all supposed to be a reflection.
How do you
of Christ.
know that the Christ power is a reflection of the God power? How do you know this?
Well, so that's are you familiar with Tree of Life?
Am I familiar with the Tree of Life? Like the church?
Yeah. Well, no, it's just, in simplest terms, you have the Father above, the Son below, and we, are below him.
But if without the Bible, where do you base your belief that there was even a son? That all comes from the Bible
or a father.
Because it's
all the language you're using is very Christian.
Well, that's because I don't find fault with Christians. I I don't believe in the literal interpretation and the resurrection. I think it all means a thing about your own awakening.
What? We're just trying to find out where your fundamental beliefs stem from. Like when you say, I believe there's a father and a son, where do you get that from? Where does that ideology come from?
The tree of life. I already told you. Tree of life. The Kabbalistic
What
tree
is
of
that?
life. And it's not Christian. It's Judaistic. You have.
Is this a physical, real thing?
No. It's
okay,
all. No, it's not a physical, real thing.
Okay.
It's all thought, ideas.
Okay.
So where do you get those thought ideas?
Like where is this coming from, dude?
Like I already told you, the tree of life.
Why do you believe in the tree of life? Why do you believe in the tree of life? I don't know what the tree of life is, but why do you believe in that?
I think you're taking belief a little too literally.
However you want to take
it. What's wrong with the point of love being a good thing?
There's nothing wrong with that on its face, Jerry, but here's the thing. You're calling in to say, this is what it says on the call screen. You can't dismiss the good that religion does because some of the bad things that believers believe. And what I'm trying to get across to you...
I think there are horrible people.
I get that. What I'm telling you is that there are over 40,000 denominations of Christianity. The vast, and I mean vast majority of them, the vast majority of them that I've ever dealt with have been hideously, like, the horrible things they believe, horrible things they preach, and the vast majority of them throughout the history of the world, when we see the effects of these things, is horrible effects, horrible pain and suffering wrought upon all sorts of innocent people. And you're saying we can't dismiss the good that it does because of some of their beliefs. And what I'm telling you is that we can't use your benign beliefs to dismiss the evil that has been done in the name of your religion, whether you agree with them or not, because they're reading the same book and getting different messages out of it and believing slightly different things. And nothing that you have said so far has told us, nothing that you've said so far told us whether or not anything you're saying is actually true. We've been on the phone for 15 minutes. All you've told us is some stuff that you believe.
No, I haven't told you anything actually that I believe. I've asked you what's wrong with love. I think that's what true Christians do, and I'm not disputing the fact that there are ugly people out there that do not truly reflect Christ. I'm sorry.
And Jerry, there are plenty of Christians who would disagree with you and say that you are misrepresenting Christ. So how do we tell you apart? How do we know which one of you is telling the truth?
The truth is in their works, right?
No, according to the Bible, the truth is, the works mean nothing, and it's all about faith. Unless you read the other part of the Bible that says that faith means nothing, and it's all about works. So, like,
that's because that's why I don't base my, my moral belief structure and how I go about my day based off the frickin' Bible. It's
great.
Nonsense.
That's why you're not in jail right now.
What do you base it off, Jerry?
You've told us that you believe in a Christ power and a God power and a tree of life and not the Bible, but yes to this Jewish philosophy. And you've told us a bunch of things that you believe. You haven't told us why we should think any of those things are real or should be taken seriously, and none of it excuses the evil done with people who believe largely the same things that you believe with the same titles that you use.
Here to excuse what anybody has done, and that is any evil that anyone else has done is irreprehensible. I take no stand with those people. That let he who is without sin cast the first stone.
You quote the Bible a lot for somebody who doesn't believe in the Bible.
Well, I do. You know what? That's funny. You're right. I do, because I do think that there are some things, some kernels of truth to kind of take. I think there are some more principles there. And
okay,
I don't
Jerry,
think.
Jerry, can we just start over on something? Listen,
absolutely.
The thing that you said to the screeners when you came in is you can't dismiss the good that religion does because of some of the bad things some believers believe. I don't think religion is bad because of the things people do with religion. I think religion is bad typically because most religious texts have fucked up things in the text. So when I say Christianity is bad, it's not because people take it and interpret it poorly. It's because the book itself tells us to own slaves and to beat our fucking sell our daughters into sex slavery and to beat our slaves and to do all this other fucked up shit. It has nothing to do with how people interpret it.
There's other things.
I don't care about the other things. If I'm beating the shit, Jerry, if I have a kid, I beat the shit out of that kid, Jerry. If I beat the shit out of my kid, and while I'm beating the shit out of that kid, I go, but remember, love is the most important thing. I should still go to jail.
There's no excuse for child abuse. I agree.
Yes, and we are children of God, so there's no excuse for God to abuse us.
So
we should put God in the metaphorical.
Like I said, you're trying to trap me into this, God is abusing you. I'm only trying to talk about love and Jesus being love, and people should be a reflection of that and exhibit love.
Jerry, do you believe in heaven?
No, I think we contribute to the world by passing our energy on to the next. If we're buried, we go to the creatures of the earth. Ashes to ashes.
Okay, so you don't believe that So you don't believe when we
Pardon
die,
me?
anything happens, or like you don't believe that when we die, anything happens to like our conscious mind or anything like that.
I think that's a construct made to control people after the belief, after, a lot of the invent of a lot of religions. And I don't like it.
Okay,
No,
I'm trying
I
to
think
come up.
that's
I'm trying to just understand your foundational beliefs, Jerry.
Yeah,
can I
Jerry,
just
do
real
you
quick, I'm
believe
gonna
in
rattle-
God? Like,
Thank you.
What's
Sorry,
going on?
there was a couple people. Sorry, I didn't understand.
We're trying to figure out what you actually believe about anything. Do you believe in a God?
I think there's a thing that we can all attribute to, like attest to, like
God.
believe. Yes,
Jerry, please, please.
an ideal.
The next
Brady.
questions we ask, can you please just yes or no? We promise we will dive into
Yes,
the why
I
of the yes and
apologize.
no, but just yes and no. Okay, we're just going to ask you some base level yes or no questions.
Let's go.
Do you believe Jesus Christ was a real person that existed?
No,
Okay. Do you believe in a God?
define God.
An intelligent, thinking agent with wants and desires and power over the universe that created the universe, and has some sort of
No.
intercessory power. You don't believe in any of that.
No,
Do you believe that? Do you
No.
believe? Take just strip that away piece by piece. An intelligent agent that created the universe. Do you believe in that?
no,
Okay. So you don't believe in anything supernatural. You don't believe in a higher power. Is that fair to say?
Why do I have to believe in the supernatural? No, I don't have to believe in supernatural.
I didn't say you have to. I'm asking you what you believe, dude.
Okay. Yes. No. Apologies. I'm not trying.
Okay, so then you're not
No,
a theist. You're not a theist. You are an atheist.
Then why am I trying to say that there's what's wrong with love? And
I don't know because you're lonely.
practice
I don't
that.
fucking know.
Yeah, I
Because
don't
I'm
know why
lonely?
you would do such a.
Oh my
It's a
God.
weird thing to
Yeah,
do.
did you want us to like call and talk? Like you have been sitting on the line for how long was it that you were sitting waiting for
An
Saints
hour
to
and a
call?
half.
You know what me and Forrest believe. You know what we
I-
believe. You know that we're staunch atheists. You know that we don't believe. You know that we've primarily been talking about Christianity.
understand you're staunch
There's no way you don't know
atheist.
this. So then what are you calling to talk to us about? Your whole thing was you
Because I'm
can't dismiss the
trying
good that religion does. What is happening? Can you understand our frustration right now, Jerry?
My
Can you understand
original
our frustration?
No, I don't, honestly, because my original question when I called in was that we are left with these faith, hope, and love. And I don't think that there's a lot of love going around everywhere. And I'm just professing that.
You're
I don't
not.
care
You're not.
about love.
This is so fucking pointless. Like it says that in a book that you don't believe in. I can pull out a quote from The Lord of the Rings that is very inspiring and not believe it, and call myself a believer in Gandalf or anything like that, and then have to have a fucking 20-minute conversation where I have to like slowly pick apart the fact that I don't actually believe those things.
Is there a problem with the idea? I do believe in the idea. I'm telling you, I believe in it.
Jerry, for the 50th fucking time, there is no problem with the concept of love or spreading love. Both Jovan and I would wholeheartedly support that. The Christian version of love, the love espoused in Christianity, the love of the Bible, the love of Jesus, the love of God, all of these things that you keep referencing are not real love, and they are things that we are opposed to. So you've been now on the call. You waited for an hour and a half and are now on the call for 23 minutes just to get to the concept of love is good. And everyone agrees that love is good, but you had to slog through a sick mockery of love in order to get to the love that you actually like.
Not trying to make a mockery of anything. What What,
I didn't say you
what
were.
about love are you opposed to?
No, you're
Jerry,
out of order.
I didn't
Holy
say
shit.
you were.
No,
If
no,
you
no,
were
no.
listening,
You were just saying.
Jerry, if
No,
you were listening to the things I actually said, I already answered your question. Do you need me to repeat myself? Will you listen this time?
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
So let me start again. There is nothing wrong with the concept of love. Both Jovan and I are strong supporters of the idea of love. We have no issue with spreading love and being loving and all those things. The love described in the Bible, the love of Jesus, the love of God, the love described in Christianity is not real love. It is a sick mockery of love that we strongly oppose. You, for 24 miserable minutes, have been slogging through Christian mythology, Christian vocabulary, Christian analogies, Christian scripture in order to get to. I didn't insult you at all. You have been using Christian vernacular. I'm going to keep talking. You have been using Christian vernacular and Christian language and Christian scripture to describe love. And so, reasonably, we have assumed you were talking from a Christian perspective. And now, at the fucking end of this, you have now said, you're not a Christian in any regard. You're not even a theist. You're an atheist. You don't believe in any God at all. And now we have to be talking about just love in general as if we were supposed to pick up on that.
We don't have
and
to.
That's insane.
No. My point is that I agree with the fundamentalists in the point that they're not that different from us. A lot of them
The
don't
fundamentalist
fucking hate us.
Christians?
Yeah.
The fundamentalist Christians are extremely different from us.
I live in the South, man. Now, man,
So do
live
I.
in the South.
So do I.
No, you don't live.
So does Jovan. The Christian fundamentalists are entirely different from us. The belief system of a fundamentalist Christian is night and day compared to mine.
Recently.
No, entirely. Fundamentalist Christianity is entirely different than my philosophy. Because I believe in real love.
Jerry, what do you think Christian fundamentalists believe? It has never been love.
I think a true Christian belief.
Sorry, go ahead.
I think a true Christian believes in love first and foremost. Christian
fundamentalists believe in the fear of God, though. They don't believe in the love of God. They believe in the fear of God.
They believe that love and fear is the same thing oftentimes.
Honestly, fear. I'm not going to live my life that way, and that's not. No.
Wow. Christian fundamentalists also believe in a literal hell that you deserve to go to because you were born
wrong. There's a lot of dumb people out there.
Oh, well, now we're just doing that.
A lot of different things.
They're just dumb.
No, I'm just
That's
saying.
what it is.
No, it's not that they're dumb. I mean, I'm being glib because you're being glib.
What have I been glib about?
I
don't think I've been unfair in anything that I've said.
We're
spell glib.
GLIB.
I don't think that I've been glib about anything. I think I've been quite fair with what I've been saying. I think I've represented you and your position as best as I possibly could throughout this entire call. And when I talked about fundamentalist Christians and the things they believe, I have represented what they believe.
I understand. I understand your position.
No, you
I'm
don't.
taking a position.
I guarantee you don't. Otherwise, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
Jerry, you're not religious. You aren't religious. You're not religious. You're I don't understand what we're doing. You are not a religious person. You don't believe in a religion. You don't believe in a God. Really, you believe that humans should operate off of love. Cool, but that's not a religious belief.
That's just
love.
I don't think they should operate only off of love. I mean, I
What?
think there's a couple of good
What the
commandments.
fuck
I
has
think
this
we
whole
also
thing
have
been about
good
then?
laws.
What the fuck has
Why
this
aren't you
whole
calling in
call
to
been
defend
about?
Islam? Why aren't you calling in to defend
For me.
Islam, Jerry? Because there's plenty of good shit in the Quran about love and all that stuff and taking care of your neighbor and how nobody who doesn't want the best for everybody is a true believer and all that shit.
Are you trying to make fun of me?
No, I'm being serious. Why are you only
No.
defending Christianity and not Islam?
I understand Rick and
Christianity-
Morty
Well,
now.
I mean, true.
Islam
There's
has lots of good
isn't
shit.
there
I've been able to
something? Isn't there
understand
something
for
in
the
the
longest
Quran that
time.
says
You
like
probably
any
could-
true believer in the Quran is supposed to believe in the Bible? So any true Islamist should be a Christian first. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't
think that's
know.
what it says.
I've never read the Quran.
Jerry,
But
you don't believe in anything.
This is such a weird, like it's such a strange hill to die on here. That,
Okay.
Like I don't believe in any of this, but you can't dismiss that it does some good things, and the good thing that it does,
No, it does
is that
do
it
good
has
things.
a totally secular.
Man,
it's-
dude, I tell you what, man. I
Hold
tell
on,
you what.
Jerry,
Jerry.
you just
Jerry,
interrupted me with
hold on,
something I
hold on,
didn't
hold
say
on.
again. It's so boring.
Apologies.
Jerry,
I apologize.
please.
Please go.
10 words. You have 10 words. Tell me in 4 each. Now, so having the stipulation of having 10 words means you have to really clearly think about the words you're going to use. 10 words to tell me and Forrest, what is your belief system? We'll front load it too. We'll just assume that the start of it is I believe and then continue from there.
Why are you asking my belief system?
Because it's a
whole
call-in
point
show
is-
where we talk about belief systems, Jerry. What the fuck do you want from us here? You
Okay,
called
all right,
in saying
okay.
that you were a theist. You're not
Okay,
a theist.
Fair. Nope. Okay. 10 words.
10 words. I'm keeping count.
I think we should come closer to God through love.
You don't believe in God.
I'm done. I'm out. I'm done.
What are we
That's
coming? What are we
fucking
getting
hang
close
the phone up.
to?
I can't. I'm gonna fucking crash out. I'm gonna crash out so hard right
I'm
now.
lying. I've got a fucking molecular genetics exam that I'm supposed to be finishing right now, and I've never
You asked me
wanted
10
to be
words,
explaining
man.
how alleles
You
work
asked me
more
you
than at this
believe
moment
in,
in my life.
Jerry. Jerry, about what you believe in. You've already told us you don't believe in God.
It's not a literal interpretation. It's an ideal.
Oh my
An
God.
ideal
I
of
can only
what?
be a
What is it? What, Jerry? What the fuck is an ideal of a god? What does that mean?
what an ideal of a person of a creator. I mean, I don't know what that is. It's just something.
Then why do you believe it?
It's not about a belief.
Jerry is definitely.
I think we can.
Jerry, I fully believe this is a psyop intended to make me
can't-
just finally fucking pull the trigger.
I cannot figure out if it's a troll or not. I really can't. It went
I'm not
from funny
trolling.
to annoying, and it's now back around to funny. And it's like I don't know what the fuck's going on.
Okay,
You're a
No, hold
theist.
on.
You're a theist who doesn't believe in God, but thinks that we should get closer to God.
Okay, Jerry, from the beginning. Do you, Jerry, believe in God? Not a concept, whatever God is to you. Like when I say the word God, whatever your brain first immediately thinks of, do you believe in God? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay,
All
no,
right.
we're getting somewhere.
Right, yeah.
Jerry,
I believe you, man.
Is your God, whatever God is to you, is that belief grounded in some type of supernatural or mysticism?
No. Well, kind of
Great.
yes.
Okay, kind of yes. Okay.
I was given a construct with mysticism. So I'm saying kind of yes, but also no.
Kind of yes, no problem. Does the God you believe in this is a two-parter. This is a two-parter. You don't what?
You're going down a wrong path if you're going to say something about gods I believe in. I don't think we don't need gods.
Fucking, it's so weird. It's just so genuinely weird. Like it's not just that it's strange. It's not that it's frustrating, but it's weird. It's just weird. Like I don't know what to go with it. It's so weird. I don't know, man. Okay. You're a theist who doesn't believe in a God except you do, but that's not the right question because you don't need a God, because you need love, which is like the love in Christianity, but not, because that's different, because you don't believe in the Bible, but we can look at the Bible to learn what truth is, except it's not truth because it's love, and love is different than that because love gets you closer to God, but you don't believe in God, but you do believe in the idea of God, but you don't really need gods. It's just 34 minutes, and it's been a different answer on every question, even when we ask the same question every time.
It's not about gods and anything and any all that. I believe we're all on path, and we can make multiple, types of trips. We're all trying to learn a thing. We go through different journeys. We learn this thing, we learn that, and we are all trying to get to be a better version of ourselves.
It's the monad.
What's the better version of this call? That's what I want to be on. I want to be on the better version of this call. Please, God, I'm losing it, Jerry. I feel like every question we ask you, we get a different answer, and they all contradict each other.
So bizarre. It's so unbelievably bizarre. It's like you expect us to fucking kick through your brain.
I think you're trying to trap me. I think you're trying.
Jerry, have you ever listened to the show before? Was this your first time?
No, he's called in before. It says he's called in 3 times.
Jerry, why are you doing this to me? Did I do something? Did I hurt you in some way that I'm being put through this?
Yeah. Jerry, it's been real weird. Can you just give us a shout out trans rights or human rights, and then we'll move on.
Trans rights or human rights.
Fuck yeah. Jerry, I don't know what God you do or don't believe in, but you haven't convinced me of anything you've said. It's been very strange. Feel free to call back again if you have your thoughts in like a linear order. Bye. The fuck? What happened?
I'm broken. I'm legitimately broken. Thank God that was the last call because I don't think I could do anymore. I'm actually broken, Forrest. Like, I might take off tomorrow because I don't think I can realistically grasp my brain around what just happened.
Oh. I'm tired now. I'm just tired. I feel like I just ran a marathon of the stuff. It's like I jogged through sand for a half an hour. Only it was my fucking brain. What happened?
God. I don't think homie is a bad person. I just think he's not the type who's great at telling what's inside their own head.
Maybe. Yeah. That's I guess that's the end of the show. What a journey we've been on together. Maybe
wait, we have to what should our call out be for fan art of us after that ridiculous? Should it be like we need something because people have risen to the challenge every time me and you've been on a stream.
I think Jovan as a dolphin would be a good winner from this one.
Me as a dolphin.
Jovan as a
Forrest
dolphin.
riding on my dolphin back. Away from Jerry specifically.
Yeah, dude. Send your fan art of Jovan as a fucking dolphin and me riding on his back like a fucking radical dolphin tamer to hello@valkailabs.com, and I'll post on my Instagram. Hey, tune in for the rest of the things. I'll be back on Skeptalk this Monday. We've got Austin Archer and Matt Dillahunty on the Sunday show. Me and Eric on Sunday Show After Dark. Tomorrow you've got Skeptalk with Aaron Adair and Justin Deconstruction Zone. You've got Chewed Gum with Alyssa and Taylor. You've got The Hang Up. You've got TACIS. You got a bunch of shows. Thank you to Luxander for producing tonight. Thank you to Jovan for co-hosting. Thank you to our mods in chat. Thank you to the people in chat, even the ones that suck. Thank you to our callers, even the ones that sucked. Have an awesome rest of your day and never stop learning. Bye.